Welcome everybody to Everybody's a Mimic. This is our second session. We are 2 weeks out from our hellish Texas winter storm, and we've all survived. And so, my name is Corey. I am the dungeon master here for Everybody's a Mimic, and I did not prepare a one-liner, unlike me requiring it from all of our players. And that is my one-liner.
For shame.
I know.
Forsooth. I am Carson. I play Bita Yeti Mated, or Betty the Yeti, as his friends know him. And he is probably the loud chewing sound you hear in any given room.
I'm Blake. I'm playing Dell. And a vote for me is a vote for a brighter future.
I am Ray. I play Rosemary Bone Crusher, and she is a friend to all goats.
Well done.
Do we have Ben do his? Everyone do theirs.
Ben did not do his, but I
Ben.
did. Ben.
God, we lost Ben.
Ben is having some mic difficulties.
Hello, am I back?
Yes,
There
you
you
are. It's time for your introduction.
Yeah, my name's Ben. I play Levi, your one and only shirtless campaign manager.
For a second there, I was like, wait, what? Campaign manager? Are you taking over the dungeon mastering spot?
Nope.
But then, yeah, no, I remember now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so we are back in Goodmead. Last session, we saw the party hiking out towards the Verbeeg's lair. They attempted to stealthily jump into the lair and retrieve the casks, but unfortunately, they made a lot of noise trying to get in, and they alerted both the Verbeeg, his ogre, and a bear. By the end of it, there was some plundering. There was a lot of conversations, a lot of semi-threats to goats, and a lot of deception towards the Verbeeg. But in the end, the party was able to help him with his lady troubles. They were able to retrieve one full cask of mead and one barrel of no mead, and they made their way back to Goodmead after the blizzard had passed through. And as they arrived, still almost just a little bit past sunset back in the town, they were stopped by Granny Olivessa, one of the elders of the town, who informed them that Shandar, the head lumberjack and suspicious fellow, had called a townspeaker special election. And within 2 days' time, there will be a new town speaker. Shandar is up for election, and while many people wanted Olivessa to become the speaker, she had other plans. And our cliffhanger from the last session was Granny Olivessa pinning a "Vote for Me" sticker pin on Del Nadre. So that is where we will pick up. So Granny Olivessa is walking over. She just walked back. She's stepping back from Dell with a pin that says "Vote for Me" on his chest. Oh, and everyone's level 2. So yay!
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
That is the most important thing that happened.
It is very exciting. A lot of people get some fun stuff at level 2.
Spell casting.
Spellcasting, yes. Wild shapes.
Bold of you to assume that I'm going to be using wild shape.
I would assume
I am a friend to animals. I am not an animal myself.
What does the rogue and the barbarian get at level 2?
The barbarian took a level in fighter.
Oh, okay. Well then.
So now you're 2 level 1s standing on each other's shoulders.
Yes.
So you get fighting style then, huh?
Yes, I took a fighting style and I get second wind.
Ooh.
Which is always fun and nice.
Action surge?
Good. Action surge is at level 2 fighter.
Damn.
So I will be getting that next, I believe.
Next.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, Now back to where we just left off. Granny Olivessa is taking steps back, and you guys have the reveal of seeing that there is a "Vote for Me" pin stuck to Del Nadre's chest.
You want Del Nadre to be your speaker? Please. Please.
Wait,
Wow.
why is that so funny?
Hey, he
I
has such a
would-
good face on him.
I would not necessarily call him political material, but to each their own. Not everyone is born to greatness. Some have it thrust upon them.
I still don't understand the concept of electing someone. Why doesn't just the oldest and wisest person be the leader?
Because that would end up me being the leader, and I don't want to be the leader.
Well, I think you'd be a wonderful leader.
Yeah, but these bones, they don't have very much life in them, and I prefer not to spend the rest of my life dealing with everyone else's problems.
Okay,
I
wait, no,
would
I don't want
argue
that,
the
though.
bravest and strongest. Then you would not have this problem.
Well, unfortunately, our ancient traditions state that as soon as a "Vote for Me" pin is stuck to your chest, that's it. It's binding by law.
So what if someone put a "Vote for Me" sticker on a goat?
It's happened before, yes. There were a couple of years where the good mead was, the town speaker was a goat. Luckily, they have pretty short lives, and we did get hungry that year.
They
Is
called
the
it
town
goat
speaker the
meat.
town speaker until death?
If they want it. Technically, the town speaker can give up their post after a couple of years. Most of them don't. Town speaker Reelsbarrow was here for quite a while.
Does the town speaker draw like a salary?
You get a house.
Could have a
You get-
house, Del.
You get a house. People always love to give the town speakers things, but no, technically you do not have a salary.
So, your political system requires that a civil servant devote at least multiple years to the position, at which time they receive lodging but no payment for food, and are encouraged to receive gifts from people within the town.
Well, the speaker always eats for free. You could technically live here in Goodmead as long as you don't really want to buy anything. You could live here forever.
Clothing, gear, cold weather clothing, goods and services.
Food for
You-
fire.
You don't
Or-
need cold. You don't need a cold weather clothing if you spend the whole time in the meadery.
But where do you sleep? You need to warm your house.
Yeah, the lumberjacks chip in.
Mm-hmm.
So the town
Mhm.
speaker is a freeloader.
It's not a
No.
lot of autonomy.
They help out. They are the leader. They provide inspiration to us all.
Actually, I feel like this would make more sense to Rosemary because probably her equivalent of a speaker is just like whoever's oldest and wisest, and they're not really paid for that.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't pay the elder just because they live to be the longest.
Yeah.
You're like,
You just
haha,
pers-
congratulations, you're the oldest person. Here's your stipend. Here's your new house.
I mean,
Just give us 6 hours. We're trying to clean it up after the last oldest person died. But, we'll get you in there by the end of the day.
Oh god.
and you do probably still feed them.
Yeah, but I mean they feed them here.
Yeah, the town provides.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the town speaker does get as much meat as they want.
Well, it all sounds great, but I'm not
Can the
really
town
planning on
speaker
staying
leave?
here for all that long.
Oh. Well, there have been town speakers that put proxies to vote for you. But the only thing you really have to do is represent us in the speaker convention.
Hmm.
Where and when is the speaker convention?
She just looks at you, kind of dumbfounded, like, well, we haven't really had one in 2 years, but there've been rumblings that they'd be calling one soon.
So, I mean, we could vote for you, Dell, leave someone trustworthy as a proxy, and then hope that there's not a speaker convention before you can resign?
I just gotta say, I love the support from the group for Del Nadre to be the speaker.
I don't think he's a very good choice, but
He's probably better than the murderer.
oh no, definitely that guy's a shitheel.
Murderer?
You know-
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, we found some stuff out about the death of the previous speaker.
Found it out from who?
From the Verbeek?
We have our ways.
From the
Yeah,
Verbi?
we have our ways.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Okay. Well, anyways, it's getting late. I will see you all tomorrow. Yes, I'll come and fetch you early in the morning so we can show you around to all the various groups and begin the day. Are you guys aware of the voting rules for our town?
Not even a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go over that tomorrow. No need to rush into that right now.
A question for you, my dearest old lady. Where are we to go? I've never been to Goodmead before. I'm new to the area. When you say you'll fetch us from where exactly?
She just stares at you. You don't have a place in town?
Levi looks at the rest of the party and just raises his eyebrows.
We're not residents?
Well,
I don't even think we spent
I
a
don't
night
even think we
here.
stopped. Like, I don't even think we stayed the night last time we were in town.
No, we pretty much visited the meat hall and then immediately were like, okay, let's go investigate, and just took off into the woods after talking with some people.
Oh, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt if you just stayed the night in the speaker's house.
All right.
I'm
Get
not one
used-
to
get
turn
used
away.
to it.
I'm not one to turn away free lodging.
Oh, just keep it quiet. Shandar will probably throw a fit if he sees that we're giving you guys extra treatment. But I think it'll be fine. Nobody's using the house anyways. And technically, I own it.
And which house is it? As a person who
It-
doesn't have, sky vision,
It is
is it that
this
one?
Here,
one.
yeah.
It's not
It's
that
this
one
one.
down there that says speaker's house?
It is that one.
It's actually this one off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pointing to one of these tiny little like buttresses on the roof. We just
Door.
sleep in
Elf
there.
and arrow. It bounces around. It's like a laser.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Now that I think about it, it would probably be better if you just stayed in the guest house.
The guest house. Where's that?
Right here, next to the speaker's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys have a guest house and you didn't think that was the best place?
I mean,
Look,
no one was using the main house.
The tall one has a good point. It really, your optics are going to be the same. You come out of the guest house, you come into the speaker's house. Both people think you're coming from the speaker's property.
Speaker's house it is. Care to lead the way?
No, y'all can find it. I got to go back and go to sleep. It's well past my bedtime.
Is
Thanks,
it well
Granny.
labeled? Is the door unlocked? Do you have a key?
Hey, you guys look like
Do we need to turn the water back on?
enterprising folks. I think you guys can handle it. And she just
There
starts
is a little wooden sign with the speaker word burned into it. I've seen it a few times passing through. I can't
Alright.
remember exactly where, but we're good at things. So
Yeah. Betty knows we're gone. I trust him.
Betty will walk in a very circuitous route because he doesn't actually know the streets, but it's kind of a loop, so he gets there anyway. He does make like a wrong turn up this like cul-de-sac. It's like, oh
I mean,
yeah,
even
no,
even this like leads back around. It looks like.
yeah, all roads lead to the speaker's house. So eventually we get there, but there is like a lot of like stopping and looking and like, where's the sign? I know there's a sign.
Feel like he's
somewhere
been
around
there, but only from a certain angle before.
Exactly. Like he passed like this way once and he like saw it just a little bit. And then he was like, okay, back out to Dugan's Hole.
Yeah. He saw the speaker coming out of the house one time and he was like, there we go. That's it.
Exactly. All right. So
All right. Well, you guys can move yourselves to the speaker house. And is there anything you guys would like to do now that you're here in Goodmead at night?
So an election is exciting. Do you have any campaign promises? What's your platform?
I feel like
Do you know your primary constituents?
increased jobs, lower taxes.
But
People
is it
usually buy
wise to
into
lower
that crap,
taxes
right?
in an emergency when the public infrastructure could use it?
I think that's a little more complicated than these kind of like peasants could probably grasp.
Okay, step
Rosemary,
one: don't call your constituents peasants.
Rosemary, you seem to have a deep understanding of politics.
I have heard about it from other people from 10 towns, and it has always been interesting to me. But we don't have elections in my tribe because, again, usually there's like a council of elders, so like you get a certain age and we just kind of assume that you know stuff.
See, elections are foreign to me as well. We just have a king and a queen.
That seems weird.
our chieftain won his title through the wisdom of battle.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. Wisdom is clearly the marker of a good ruler. So Dell, how are you gonna show your wisdom?
Oh, I don't know. I've rigged a few elections, and I've always found it's much easier to just like drag the opposing campaign through the mud.
I mean, we have evidence that the opposing candidate has murdered the last. So you've got. I mean,
easy.
I feel like that was kind of before there was an election. That was what we were going to do.
True.
So that's pretty neat.
I just gotta say, I love how Dell just slowly dropped that he's rigged a couple of elections, and you guys are just like, yeah, it's just typical adventuring life, right?
I mean, is this supposed to be a
I feel
surprise
like
to us that
Rosemary
he met
knows-
Del?
Rosemary knows some keywords, but I don't think she knows what rigging an election is.
She's like, oh, you rigged some fishing tackle? Awesome.
Yeah.
Dell, not Dell. Betty has done a lot of work with a lot of rope stuff, so he assumes it's like arranging and running an election, setting it up. But even if he did understand the terminology, I feel like he wouldn't have much of a reaction because Dell, like, what?
Like, I feel like they
I feel
know
like-
Dell is a shady dude.
Yeah, they know Dell's kind of shady and that like most of what he says is probably bullshit anyway. And then if he is telling the truth about something he did that's kind of shitty, it's like, yeah, not unexpected. No offense.
I choose offense.
I think Levi just takes in the information and just like pockets it for later and plans to do his best to ensure that there is no rigging going on. Although Shandar is a pretty terrible dude.
Oh yeah, Levi, we have not told you entirely about this whole situation, or maybe we did. But yes, when we came here, the past speaker had been murdered, ostensibly by the very big. But after some investigation, we found that there were wounds in his back, not consistent with the spear on which he was impaled, indicating that he had been cut down, giving the very big an opportunity to finish him very easily. Just in case you were fuzzy on any of the smaller details, just a little exposition.
I was able to gather some of this information based on your discussions with the Verbeeg. I also remember you discussing with the Verbeeg a flaming sword. Is this consistent with your reports of the speaker?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh
I heard
shit,
about
yeah.
This is an artifact I would be very interested in learning more about.
It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It would, I assume, be really easy to find a flaming sword in the snow. So it wasn't left behind, and we didn't see it in the cave.
So
I mean,
would it
they
be
recovered
wise?
his body.
Would it be wise to assume that the murderer is potentially in possession of said sword?
I mean, it would also be kind of stupid to, like, hold on to a very recognizable magic artifact that the previous speaker had, but maybe.
True, though if the body was simply recovered with the sword, which I imagine it was, because the very big did not have it and was not using it as like a meat roasting carving knife, then I would imagine that it would probably be in possession of the town, perhaps to give to the following speaker, as this one does not have presumable next of kin.
I see.
In which case, you don't steal it for yourself because it's going to be yours anyway if you plan on taking that position.
Very true.
Also, if I recall, the woodcutter hightailed his ass out of there like a little fucking coward.
Yeah, I think I remember that part of the story.
So that is definitely something we need to inquire with the elder about. The whereabouts of the sword.
Uh-oh.
Don't
Who
worry,
is it?
I will answer the door. Levi walks over and cracks the door an inch or two and just kind of peers out.
So there is a short little dwarf there with a taller young human just kind of standing in the doorway. And immediately, as soon as you crack the door open, he starts to like shove his big fat foot right in the doorway and kind of just starts pushing against him. He's like, "What are y'all doing in here?"
Yeah, that door's not moving, but it's not happening. We are staying here for lodging. Can I help you?
Shandar kind of like he's still trying to wiggle his foot into the door. He's like, I heard you guys are trying to go for the speaker position. Took it away from Graniel Avessa. Why'd you do that?
As he's talking, Betty will go ahead and stand up and kind of walk towards the door, stooping because his shoulders brush the ceiling.
We did not take anything. We were, I wouldn't say accosted, but we encountered Granny Olivessa, as you refer to her, in the woods, and she nominated Del Nadre herself.
You found her in the woods? That old
She
lady's
found
probably
us.
She's probably off her meds. You probably took advantage of her, huh?
Did not. She seemed very in control of her wits, and she nominated Del Nadre, gave us a little bit of information, told us to stay in the house, and went off on her way.
Well,
Now, do you have any important business before I shut this door?
I have a warning for you. Where's Dell?
Sure.
He needs to hear this.
I assure you he can hear you.
Dell,
Yeah,
are you in there?
I'm back here, just kind of lean around beside Levi.
Good.
I forgot I was muted. I'm also up at the door with Betty. I feel like at some point during this conversation, because
Okay.
Rosemary has -1 charisma, she's just gonna like poke her head out, probably over
Now that-
Levi. And just
Now
be
that
like,
everyone's here, Levi just opens the door so that this dwarf can see the half-orc, the Goliath, the 6-foot tall barbarian, all standing there waiting for whatever he thinks he has to say.
And Del.
He immediately takes a step back as soon as like the door opens and these hulking figures and Dell are there. But the
Yeah, right,
bodyguard,
she pokes her head out. I was like, "Have you seen a flaming sword?"
the bodyguard kind of just like takes a step forward and like puts his hand on the pommel of his sword, and Shandar's like,
I look at it and I'm like, "Is that the
Yeah, I'm
flaming
also
sword?"
eyeing that sword.
he kind of like he takes it out of the sheath just for a second. You see it's not flaming. He's like, nothing, and
Ah.
puts it right back. And Shandar just like stares up at Dell, not too far up, but staring up at Dell. And
Poor
Me
Dell,
he-
the only one like under 6 feet in this party.
you know this, okay? Keep this in your mind. You have no stake in Goodmead's future. You have no role here in the town. You're just passerbys who are being used as pawns. You should get out of town before something unfortunate happens to you.
I'll
Like,
try to squeeze my way past Levi to take the front and center role. Oh, threats, is it? Seems like the reaction of someone who's a bit worried about their stakes in this game.
There's no worry, just a little bit of extra work is all. Nothing I'm not used to. Can see by your hands you've barely worked a day in your life, huh?
And I can see by yours that you're willing to go any distance to get what you want. You know,
It's
even
true.
if that involves picking up a tool, holding a knife.
Stabbing her back. I feel like Rosemary is still like trying to converse with the bodyguards. Like, are you unionized? Do you have collective bargaining power? Because our candidate Dell is completely for workers' rights.
Just stares at you and
Do you have dental? What about accident insurance? I know there was an unfortunate thing with someone's hand. Do you want that to happen to you?
he just grunts. It's a grunt that says everything you need to know, which is he does not want to. He does not care. He is here to make sure you guys just stay in line.
Do you get hazard pay? Bodyguard is a difficult job. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. You deserve to be compensated for your life.
Shandar kind of speaks up. Yes, I will do anything for the town of Goodmead, and that's the kind of speaker they need. This town has such potential, and it'll just waste away underneath your leadership.
Well, I think that remains to be seen. We'll see what the good people of Goodmead have to say.
So we shall. You stay in line.
Oh, I'm not that worried. I'm an open book. I've got no secrets. You know, these kind of things, just about everything comes out into the open.
Yeah, like
Kinda-
murders.
He kind of just
Like murders.
starts fidgeting with his hands. He's like, "Come on, Braun, let's get out of here." His name is Shandar.
thanks.
And so he kind of starts taking a step or two away, kind of walking backwards, but still looking you in the eye. Dell, Braum, his hand still on the pommel of his sword. Finally, kind of get back into the road and then turn around and start walking. And as he's a little bit ways away, he kind of turns back and he's like, We'll be keeping an eye on you 2, 4, 6, however many you have in there. And watch
The
out.
coward's eye is not worth much.
Thanks, but we don't really need help from murderer. Thanks, bye.
All you guys do is say falsehoods. And then they just kind of walk around the corner and off they go.
That was fun.
Oh, by the way, where's bread and butter?
Oh, shit, bread and butter.
They are inside, curled up by the
My
fire.
favorite pickle chips.
I definitely think you guys left him at the meat hall.
They were definitely at the meat hall, but considering we said that we had like a really winding route, I assume that took us by the meat hall, and Rosemary would immediately go get her capybaras. Because they are her babies. She has one under each arm.
Her babies, she just remembered in 40 minutes into the stream.
Listen, this is me, the player, forgetting. Rosemary would not forget.
Rosemary, the character, already got them. She even has snacks made. Like they have the most comfortable bed in the house.
They're just curled up
Exactly.
in front of the fire.
All right. Well, that was an interesting little interaction. You guys just like name dropped murderer so many times.
Rosemary has a -1 charisma and doesn't know how to
Does-
like do a dramatic reveal.
Does not understand the elements of subtlety.
No. She's bad at talking to people. She's a druid hermit who lived in the mountains away from everyone.
In the village of all hermits.
Yeah,
Just like social anxiety, the village.
exactly.
Is a village of hermits just a cult?
Let's not go into this question. I think this is things that
'Cause they
Rosemary
all
would not want to discuss.
Sweats
They all-
profusely. Next question.
They all do worship a tree. And
Yeah, I mean, we have a collective oak father. We're ruled by our elders, and then anyone who's not a hermit / druid is an orc. So we have a
Alright.
good 50-50 split between like honor and violence, and plants and animals are great.
I
Fair
feel like
enough.
cult is a really charged word. We prefer alternative conclave.
Okay.
We prefer commune.
Is there anything you guys would like to do tonight?
I guess just like Levi would definitely like search the house to see if if he can uncover any information about the speaker. I imagine they probably haven't cleaned the house out completely yet.
Yeah,
Um,
journals or anything where he might be detailing trouble with the lumberjack guy.
Roll me some investigation checks. I can say at first glance, it does look like the speaker's house had already begun being prepped. So while like you don't see like the closets are empty from clothes, stuff like that, but there are a lot of speaker-related issues that are still left there.
Who is eating?
Someone has chips. Also,
Whoever's
so-
eating chips right next, can you take your microphone out of the chip bag?
I was gonna say, who has the highest investigation? Because Rosemary will cast guidance on them. She
It's
has
not me.
0 investigation.
So does
I'm
Levi.
probably up there.
Yeah, I think the rogue is there.
All right, I will cast guidance on you. So I think that's a D. Let me check.
D4 for guidance.
Also, apologies. My cat has decided he wants to play with the toy that makes noise.
That's okay. It wouldn't be a good stream if there wasn't a cat making noise in the back.
Yeah. So you can add a D4 to your ability check.
Nice. Boink,
Nice.
boink.
Nice.
Hell yeah, 19.
So yeah, you uncover a lot of documents. Nothing specifically points out Shandar. However, there did seem to be a rise in kind of, how do I want to say, he noticed that a lot of the militia members began kind of hanging out a lot more with the lumberjacks. That's the previous speaker did. He didn't think it was much of an issue. In fact, you kind of like see a note just be like, you make sure I talk to yada yada yada. No, I'm better than that.
I was gonna say, Corey, come on, dude, drop us some names.
Yeah.
Name drop, name drop.
Yeah,
Any information on like strangers in town, groups moving around, greater politics outside of just Goodmead?
There you do encounter a locked chest. It looks very commonly not like a chest where it would have treasure in it, but a chest that would keep documents. So kind of like a locked box for ledgers.
Hey, Mr. Rogue.
There has been there you did
I'm
uncover a
lost in the
letter
talking here.
from the speakers convention that basically alerted Speaker Reelsbarrow of the possibility of a convention within the next couple of months, and just to be prepared to leave Goodmead to travel to Bryn Shander. But outside of that, not much else. There was one mention of kind of the growing push from the lumberjacks to chop down more and more of the forest, which the speaker kind of wrote in the side saying, what effect would this have on the bees? But outside of that, you don't really uncover anything damning when it comes to Shandar, nor is there much when it comes to the politics of the town. For the most part, it looks like the town's been very, very easily relying on mead for many years. And while the winter, the increased and everlasting winter has put a dampen on it, Speaker Reelsbarrow definitely believed that the mead was the way to go simply due to the demand from all the other towns. And that if the mead were to ever stop or be limited, that good mead could possibly fall off the map and be unsustained. You also notice that everyone in the town gets a stipend based on the profits from the mead.
Oh.
That should
Useful
include the
information.
It does not include the speaker.
Whack. Also, over the table, really fast. Chopping down the trees, concerning for bees. 2-year winter, also concerning for bees.
I think the combination is doubly bad for bees.
Mm-hmm. The bees here are a bit resistant to the cold, and Goodmead, for whatever reason, is slightly warmer than other towns. Not like
bees.
Not like you're like, oh shit, we walk in here and it's hot. But it might be a couple more degrees higher. That has allowed the bees to continue to live. But for the most part, while Levi, you weren't here last time, the bees are kind of just all around the meat hall, and they've been very reduced in their amount. The meat hall probably looks overpacked with hives and such that have had to have been relocated into the meat hall that might have usually been in the forest just outside of the meat hall.
Wait, hold on. They moved the hives into the meat hall, like inside?
Yes. Yeah. And what happened the last time that we were in the meat hall, Rosemary?
Oh shit. I accidentally let a bat out and it started eating bees.
Oh.
But I was able to get it outside.
Okay.
Where it then died.
It then died. But it was going to die after an hour anyway, so it might have been a mercy kill.
Now, do the people of Goodmead have like a weird like a pact with the bees where like the bees don't really sting anybody and like the people don't kill the bees? Like have they made a deal with the bee queen goddess or what?
I feel like
Which warlock patron is the bees?
I think Rosemary can explain that, bees are pretty docile because if they sting you, they die, so they really don't want to sting you. So as long as people are chill, the bees are fine. Says the druid and also the player who used to work at a greenhouse, and bees would just be fucking everywhere.
Yeah. My family used to keep bees pretty much as long as you're not directly in front of the hive, fucking around or trying to take the hive apart. They're fairly chill.
Yeah, and even then you can use smoke to just like chill them out and they'll be fine, right?
Yeah, because they think that there's a fire, so they suck up as much honey as they can. They fly away and just kind of like sleep until the fire's gone, so then they can come back and rebuild the hive if it's destroyed.
So
I didn't
that's
know
why
that was why
everybody
the smoke works.
That's why
Mhm.
everyone smokes cigars in the mead hall. Got it.
Uh,
I
yeah,
do like
exactly.
this
That
unexpected,
actually would be a
totally
great business idea.
What was that,
campaign
Blake?
hook.
Oh,
Where we're just like, all right, we all had our individual reasons to come check out the winter, and it's just like, Arl, you've frozen the rivers, you've shut down travel, but you threatened the bees, and now we're coming for you.
That will
Hi.
not stand.
Colony collapse is a really big issue in this town.
yeah.
Levi goes around the house searching for stuff, and mostly he just his definition of searching for stuff is like pulling the sheets back on the beds and like looking under the pillows. And after he like goes through a couple rooms, he just like lays down on one of the beds and falls asleep. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my
Beat
9
the-
investigation gives me.
Like, oh, I'm
Beat,
just so
if-
tired.
If Beta finds a journal that's like more personal stuff, has maybe like a excerpt about, I don't know, like a tryst with a high school sweetheart kind of deal, we'll just kind of curl up with it on the rug in front of the fire with the capybaras and fall asleep reading.
Oh,
my God.
Look at this.
Bitte the messy bitch.
You actually find a journal from Speaker Reelsbarrow, like when he was 8 years old and had his first crush. And yeah, you get some
Oh,
lovely 8-year-old
wholesome.
writing.
Wholesome.
It's one of
Turns
those
out-
like you know when you see like a historical journal and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe Brendan didn't compliment me on my purse. Ugh. Also, man landed on the moon.
Beta was actually looking for like some Kakashi level like smut, but this is what he's selling for.
Oh no, he absolutely was. He was hoping to find like a, oh yeah, blah blah. It was so innocent and pure, but the other night her husband was away. Blah blah blah. Her husband, the dwarf lumberjack, and that's where it all started.
Oh God.
Crime of passion.
Yeah, you guys uncovered that Reelsbarrow has slept with every single woman in town. He's like,
What
oh,
a guy.
must
And
be
half
another
the
perk
men.
of the speakership.
Oh God.
Speakers are entitled to gifts from the town, they say.
Jesus.
Whenever you get elected, it's like, well, bye guys. Dell has some duties to go, to go do, and just goes door from door.
I suppose I
Instead of
must
kissing
carry
maidens,
this
it's kissing
burden.
wives.
Oh God. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to do in the house?
I'm gonna commandeer the master bedroom.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Rosemary is probably sleeping with the capybaras and Bitte in front of the fire.
Yeah.
All right. So we have
If
Levi.
y'all are in
wanting-
front of the fire, I would probably, Dell would go off into the bedroom. I'm gonna get ready for bed or whatever, and then a little while after, you'd see him come back out, walk out to the kitchen table or whatever, dump the wand and the pearl out of his backpack, kind of take a couple steps back, turn back to the table and like throw a blanket over both of them,
Oh,
and then go to bed.
it's really sweet.
Gotta keep the baby artifacts warm.
Yeah.
Less of a like tucking them in and more of the like, I don't want to have to see these.
Like I don't want to sleep with these next to my head.
Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, you guys wake up nice and early in the morning, and you all wake up to another on the door.
Who is
Betty
it?
will answer the door this time.
Oh, come on, children. Let's get out into the world and see the groups that you're gonna have to be voting for.
Wait,
gonna
we're
be
voting?
It's gonna be a long day. I'm sorry. My head's all out of whack. Didn't have my morning mead this morning.
Oh yeah, we brought. Did we bring the meat back to the meat hall?
Not yet.
Yes.
Yes. Let's just go with yes. That's when you dropped it off and then you picked up the capybara.
Yeah, it was a trade. Mead for capybaras.
Did we get
Levi-
payment for that?
No. What you did get for returning the casks is that you guys have free lodging at the mead hall. It's not much. It's like
weren't
one
we
room
were
with a
angling
door.
Free
to
lodging that we didn't use.
we were angling to move up the Bite's speaker friend from the other town, move him up
Oh, right.
in the
Yes.
queue.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right, yeah, we're being paid elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you did get you were able to secure that. The speaker of Care Koenig has been moved up on the list for meat deliveries, and that's all getting started. Anyways, Olivessa kind of just pushes the door open and walks on in. Do you try to stop her, Levi, or whoever answered the door?
No.
Okay.
Dell
You
is
kinda just-
still in bed.
Levi is in the hall. He's holding his sword. It's sheathed, but he's in his underwear and he has no boots on. He heard the door and just sprinted out.
She kind of just like looks you up and down and. If only I was 30 years younger. And she walks over to the
Indeed.
kitchen table and
He just kind of like quickly runs back to the room to put pants on.
Do not sell
And
yourself short.
Put
I'm
on
sure
his
there
like
is fire
his
in the
outer
kitchen still.
loincloth.
Say, why you don't look a day over 150?
Oh, well, thank you. Well, she
What
kind of
race
walks
is
over.
she again?
She is human, so I don't think she will be
Jeez.
150.
What a compliment.
She kind of just like, okay. Just goes over and sits at the kitchen table, and she picked up the blanket and looks at it, and she's like, puts it back down, and opens up her purse and takes out this like large stack of documents. She's like, "Can you go and fetch Dell for me?"
Yeah,
I'll
and
grab him.
Rosemary will just like loudly shout, "Dell, there's paperwork for you."
She looks at you and she's like, "I could have done that."
Yeah, but you didn't.
A couple minutes
Levi-
later, groggy Dell will exit the room.
Excellent. Well, now that we're all here, come sit down. We have some documents for you to sign.
Is this like a regular speaker occurrence?
Yes. Typically, these documents are signed well before the election happens, but we're on a rush with the special election, so you need to sign these. There's only one signature needed, and it's just generally agreeing to the rules of the voting.
Read the fine print.
So, and she starts like just kind of flipping things through, and she's like, as you may know, actually, as you may not know, the townspeople of Goodmead have always wanted to vote with a clear mind. So, today we are all abstaining from mead. I can let you know that this will make everybody in town cranky.
It seems like a solid choice
Yes.
before an election.
And tomorrow at noon, we will all meet at the meat hall and drink. Drink until sunset. Oh, such glorious times. And then we will vote.
So you
Because-
want to vote with a clear mind, but then you drink before you vote?
What clear mind do you have when you have no inhibitions and your mouth speaks freely?
Okay, that actually makes some sense to me.
Our voting in elections are typically very honest, very rowdy as well. So get used, get prepared for that. But you guys, as you are all not voting members, are free to do whatever you wish for today. You can drink as much as you want. However, I can tell you that you will get evil eyes from everyone in town if you drink in front of them.
Good to know.
Don't worry, I don't drink.
So, while every resident of town technically has a vote, for many years we have always thrown our support behind the groups that provide for the town. You have the lumberjacks, the fishermen, the arborists, and a newcomer group is the artisan guild. They are just little creators, people who've come to town, like to take all the byproducts from all of our other industries and create something new. And so, as long as you get at least a simple majority of the votes, you will be elected.
What would you say is the largest constituency?
At this time, it's pretty evenly split between the lumberjacks and the arborists. However, the lumberjacks do have a bit more support, given that Shandar has spent the last few years since he's been here in town, bringing more and more lumberjacks to town. Currently, the lumberjacks hold 28 votes, and the arborists hold 24 votes. The fishermen hold 18, and the artisans hold 19. We have a total of 100 votes, and the remaining votes are just people who have decided to hold on to their own votes.
There are individuals who have votes?
Everybody has a vote. While many of us have pushed their support behind groups, some people are stubborn and refuse to allow anybody to speak for them. And so they support themselves and they vote when it comes time for vote. But most people just prefer to enjoy the drinking and not so much have to worry about voting.
Or you said fishermen 18, artisans 12?
Artisans 19. So
Artisans
20,
19, fishermen 18.
So you have 28 lumberjacks, 24 arborists, 18 fishermen, and 19 artisans.
Cool.
Not that you have that many people, just that there's that many votes.
Right. So would you call it, like, say, an electoral college?
It's pretty close to that. It's essentially, it's still based on popular vote. It's just that the lumberjacks vote as a whole.
Of course they do. For Shandar.
All right,
Yes.
we can probably write off the lumberjacks.
I can go talk to the lumberjacks. I do think we have a good foothold with the unionizing.
It's worth a try.
After we all begin to drink, when sunset happens, right before election, there will be a moderated debate. And then we will all vote, and we will swear in our new speaker.
Sorry, did you say that the debate was before or after the drinking?
After the drinking.
Fun.
Wouldn't be a good debate if we had clear minds. I mean, not clear minds. If we had...
if you were sober.
Yeah, exactly. That's usually the funnest part of the evening, is just to see how people react.
Hey, Dale, how strong's your stomach?
Man, kind of like bongo drum pat the tummy a little bit. Like, it's not bad.
It looks very strong. You should be able to hold your drink. Because you gotta debate this guy when drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, please sign here, Dale. This is where you acknowledge that you have read and received notice of the voting rules, and you have agreed to them. Additionally, you must sign here that when you win, if and when you win, you will become a resident of the town and give up all other residencies in any other 10-town area. You do not have to stay here. You are welcome to live you are welcome to sleep in other inns. However, you can own no other property in 10 towns unless that property is used for a business.
All right.
Alright,
Ooh, quick
so you-
question. Out of curiosity, what does does having a criminal record invalidate someone's speaker candidateship?
Hmm. So long as the criminal record does not really go here in good mead. However, there is
What
no.
if someone did murder someone from Goodmead?
Hypothetically.
Well, hypothetically,
What
the
if that
majority
person
of.
was a fairly prominent member of society?
She kind of just looks at you and she's
Say
like,
like a speaker.
"So, are you?
I'm not
Do we-
planning on killing anyone,
Oh, okay.
but
And have you killed anyone here?
If another
no,
candidate
I've not killed anyone
has
here.
done a murder to the previous speaker, would that disqualify them from running?
Another candidate? What are you saying?
It's just
I'll be blunt
hypothetically,
with
you
you.
know.
No,
Yeah,
there are no
hypothetically.
hypotheticals here.
This is a very specific hypothetical.
Shandar
Yeah, I
was
mean,
involved in
sometimes
the
they are very
murder of the
specific.
old speaker.
What? She kind of looks at Levi. What did you say? Where did you hear this?
We have evidence, and
Were you
a
there?
first person eyewitness that Shandar had a direct hand in speaker, whatever his name was, in his murder.
While
God
you're
rest
saying
what's his
first
name.
person eyewitness, Dell is muttering person and doing air quotes.
Okay. Well, if you believe that the hypothetical candidate has hypothetically murdered another person, and you have evidence for this, and this other person was the previous speaker, um, I can convene a council of elders, and you can have your eyewitness provide their case to us.
Would you accept the testimony of a Verbeek?
She kind of looks at you and laughs. What?
I mean,
Hypothetically,
he is a first person eyewitness to the event.
Okay. So she kind of just puts the pen down as she was trying to get Dell to sign this paper and looks at you guys. Like,
I'll
so
start
you're
signing.
okay. He pushes it over to the side. So you're saying Shandar killed the speaker, and the Verbeeg was the eyewitness, and the
Well, the
Verbeeg
Verbeeg
told
still
you this.
killed the speaker, but it wasn't intentional. It was more like
Manslaughter?
Shandar pushed
No.
him into it.
And you
Shan-
you saw this.
Literally.
There's somebody to back up the Verbeeg's account.
The evidence on the speaker's body and the corroborates the Verbeek's account.
Well, I can say one thing.
The speaker
You-
clearly had wounds from a different object than the impaling spear in his back while he was supposedly facing and fighting the Verbeek, according to Shandar's own testimony and the Verbeek's statement.
Well, I don't doubt that you believe the Verbeeg. However, given the recent history with the Verbeeg and the speaker, I can say that if you were to bring this up, nobody would believe you. You know Verbeegs are very clever persons. Are you sure they just didn't tell you what you wanted to hear?
Are Verbeeks
This
clever?
one was not particularly.
Well, I mean, they are giantskin. They're not the smartest of people, but Verbeegs are the most clever of their race. Let's say this. If you can come up with some physical evidence, more than just a simple autopsy of the body, something tying Shandar without any doubt, then I believe it would help your case and help you win the speakership. However, if your plan is to bring a Verbeek into town and have that Verbeek talk to the townspeople about how he murdered the speaker, but it wasn't really his fault, I can say that I don't think that would help your candidacy.
Levi leans against the wall and he says, so let's say hypothetically we were able to discover the speaker's flaming sword in Shandar's possession. Do you think that would be enough?
I
Because it is
know,
my
now that-
understanding that the
now-
sword has not been recovered, nor has it been found.
and you didn't find it in the Verbig's lair? We all has assumed it was there.
No, the Verbig didn't have it.
You sure?
Quite sure.
You searched
Yeah,
every room of that cave?
We did. And some of them there was a very unhappy Baron.
Well, if such a thing were to happen, you were to find such a thing, that would definitely help your case. Shandar having possession of the flaming sword would not necessarily implicate him in his death, but it would not look good that he did not return it to the shrine to await the next speaker. So
There is a shrine for the sword?
Well, there was the shrine that the body was laid on.
yes, the shrine of the flaming sword, typically where the sword rests whenever we do not have a speaker, but otherwise the speaker is the sole owner of the sword.
I see.
Hey, Dell, if you win the election, you get a sword.
It's not a bad perk.
Excellent. All right. She kind of goes over there and grabs the papers back from Dell. Good. All right. Well then, I
I'm
will see you
dusting
guys.
my signature. A little bit of like fine sand. Blot that up. Wave the paper a little bit to make sure the ink is dried.
Kind of just snatches it out of the hand. Excellent. All right. Well, the fishermen are down to the docks. The artisan guild usually has a pre-lunch meeting in the meat hall. Well, you probably know where to find the lumberjacks, and well, the arborists are also in the meat hall. I believe you already met the lead arborist, if I'm not mistaken. You've
Lead
met
arborist.
yes, you've met Baronon and his daughter.
Did we?
Beautiful.
I heard you guys had a incident with a bat in the meat hall.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. They're the people the mead hall people.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Not the mead maker, but the people who help with the bees. Please do try to keep your hat on.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yeah, do better than your best, because so far it does not seem to be the best.
Yeah, well, there's like stuff in here, so like sometimes, and she just like takes it off, and like a rat runs out of it. It's like I can't really help it.
Yes, well, see, you took off the hat there, and a rat ran
Yeah.
away. So don't do
Like
that.
sometimes like there's just stuff in there without me taking it off, so then they kind of knock it off, and then that's a thing.
She kind of looks around the kitchen and sees this rope that's just hanging over there, and grabs and hands it to you. You can tie this around your head.
Okay. She's gonna do that and look like the nerdiest.
It's like a cool, it's like a ropey bandana.
She just has like a rope tied around her head.
Yeah, excellent.
Alternatively,
Good.
you could just like let the bats out in the house and then not
Oh
take them
yeah,
with you
she's
to
gonna
the
like
meat
take the
hall.
hat off and like shake it, and like two more animals fall out of it.
Just watching all the critters panically running around.
Yeah, now there are three. There's a bat, a frog, and a rat all running around the kitchen. It's like, okay, that should be all of them, and then I put the hat back on.
You guys are such an odd fellows. Anyways,
Rosemary, how long have they been in there? Just a question.
Well, see, it's not like a length thing. It just like they just kind of show up in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Rosemary has like a bald spot in her head where the rat has been chewing on her
Oh,
hair.
God. Her hair is a literal rat's nest.
Gross.
Yeah. So there's 4 groups and 4 of us. Do we want to divide and conquer?
Sure, I will take the fishermen. I feel like I will be able to discuss things with them in a solid manner, and maybe I can have a nice afternoon of fishing.
All right,
Excellent.
Rosemary, I think you've got
Yeah.
inroads with the lumberjacks.
Yeah.
Also, low key, Dell's just writing off the lumberjacks anyway, so he figures if anyone you're going to be assigned to, it might as well be them.
Yeah, because I have the lowest charisma, so I might as well be assigned to the lost cause.
Vite, I feel like you could probably mesh with those arborists.
I
So
perhaps could do this.
I'll take the artisan.
All right. So are we splitting the party then?
Oh hell yeah!
I think
Let's split
so.
the party because we want to make your life hard.
Excellent.
Ultimate
All right.
party
I mean-
split.
If it's early
mean-
morning, I'll probably wander with Levi over to the fishermen,
Mhm.
since I just need to make like I guess a pre-lunch meeting with the artisans.
Yes. All right. Well then, let's follow Del Nadre and Levi to the docks. And so we have Del Nadre and Levi in the docks. Rosemary, where are you heading off to?
To the lumberjack's place.
Okay. And Bitte, you're going over to the arborists?
Yes.
Yes. All right. All right. So you guys start walking along. Do you take the road or you take the shoreline to get to the docks?
The road.
I think take the shoreline. We
The
want to take the road.
shoreline.
You're technically you're the one in charge here in a way. Like you're the candidate. So if you want to make like a public appearance, we should probably take the road.
Shaking
Alright.
hands, kissing babies.
Yeah.
Kissing
Yeah,
wives,
Levi's-
because apparently that's
Levi-
what the speaker does.
Levi stops for a second and readjusts your vote for me pin that's on your chest to make it like prominent.
So you guys walk down the way. You pass the lumberjack's hall. That's right there, or lumberjack Shandar's house and the lumberjack yard. And you kind of see them sitting on the porch, just kind of staring down. And you continue walking down. There's this large, what we would call an open market, where there's a couple people like getting out and picking up some produce, and it's a little bit of a farmer's market. Everyone looks like they have a hangover, like
Makes
they're all
sense.
like clutching their head and just groaning. There's no pleasantries being exchanged as they shop. It's just take this, get out of here.
Is there any fresh fruit in the open market?
There is some fresh fruit, yes. Fresh being a relative term to what they have
Right.
there.
Yeah, because
I
it's kind
would
of the middle of an eternal winter, so.
Yeah, so Levi
It's-
would like just stop really quick and take a look, and then maybe try to pick like the freshest, nicest looking apple that there is, and like
Mhm.
try to like something fresh.
Yeah, so you find an apple with only 2 bruises. It's the least amount of bruises on the apple.
That's fair.
Take a bite out. It's okay. It's kind of mushy. Not like mushy
Yeah.
bad, just like it's a red apple, so not a lot of bite to it or crispiness to it.
That's
and
alright.
yeah, so you take a bite out and you're like,
Not great. I flick the merchant a copper anyways, and I keep walking.
he kind of just like he's still like staring you down because you bit into it before you even paid for it, and the copper just like flips over his shoulder. And he's just like, just watching you as you walk away.
Levi just nods. He gets it.
Anyways, as you guys walk over to the fisherman, you immediately begin to hear some arguing. God damn it! I told you got to go out on the lake to catch the fish. No, you can catch the fish right here on the shoreline. Just dig a hole. It's not the right way. And you guys see a group of 6 people split into 2 groups of 3, just arguing on the docks.
Oh
Are they
ho,
all-
what
are they-
seems to be the issue here?
They turn towards you. What do you want? Are you coming over here to join in the fishing too? What do you prefer? Ice or over water fishing? Or on water?
I have never tried either.
Who are you?
I'm Dell. It's nice to meet you all. I'm actually one of your candidates for speaker.
Candidate. What happened to Olivessa? And that this
She
is a dragonborn that's talking to
abdicated.
you. Abdicate. Well, yeah, she's always said that she really did not want to be the speaker, so guess we shouldn't have expected her to find somebody else. And if she gave you her blessing, then let's see what you have. Come settle an argument for us. Tell these old comers, these grandpas over there, the Dragonborn's pointing to a human, a dwarf, and a half elf, that they need to get with the times. The winter's here to stay. We need to be fishing over the ice, not hiking a half a mile out to. Not half a mile. Not hiking a good ways out just to find the water. I mean, hell, look, you have to carry a boat across the water. Why would you do that when you can just carve a hole right here and get some knucklehead trout that's right near the edge? And one of the human on the other side, you damn whippersnappers, I swear, all you're doing is just trying to take an easy way out. What's a little bit of a walk? It's a lot easier to do a walk than it is to dig a hole in the ice.
Well, surely there's merits and benefits to both forms.
No, says the elf that's on the dragonboard side. No, we need you to decide. You and Lee and your friend here, you will decide for us. And she kind of looked to the group. How about this? We've argued a lot, but we need to band together. There needs to be one kind of fisherman here. Good. So, how about we let the speaker decide? Say he impresses us, we can throw our weight behind him, and if he doesn't, well, I mean, I've heard Shandar is going to be is a lumberjack and probably expand the dock out and make it a bit easier for you old comers to walk across the ice, huh?
Levi leans down and whispers in Dell's ear. He says, "Hold on, let me ask a question." Now,
Yes.
question for you, gentlemen. Would you say, as an experienced fisherman myself, would you say that you have more fortune or a better catch from the shoreline, or have you historically had better, larger catches going out a ways with the boat?
Both sides kind of talk over themselves. Ice fishing is best. No, the water fishing is best. It's traditional.
I am not asking you what method is best. I am asking which yields the greatest catch.
The half orc that's on the ice fishing side just kind of speaks up. Well, I caught a 30-pound knucklehead trout just the other week, and the half elf, who's on the over water fishing side, who has no arms, kind of takes a step forward and is like, "Yeah, that's such a lie. You probably exaggerated, just like you're exaggerating with your relationships." That one got away from me.
That's probably not necessary. Let's keep the topic of conversation on the fish for now.
Anyways, I think you are newcomers. You don't have any experience with fishing. Therefore, you have no. They're kind of just thinking for a second. You have no habits that will prevent you from giving an honest opinion on which side is better, says the dwarf from the overwater fishing side.
You know nothing of my past. I hail from the Moonshay Isles. We fish all of the time.
Oh. Well, then you can't fish. It has to be all Dell. It needs to be it just needs to be all about the fish. We need to find where the better fish is, and with no experience, whatever he finds is whatever's best.
Now, I'm just a simple country rogue. Snap my suspenders. But the way I see it, I feel like you should be maximizing the fish intake for the good of the village and really the good and security of the fisherman's position here. I know I can see that y'all would like kind of a unity among the fishermen and sort of stick yourselves in one way or the other, but I don't really see a downside to diversifying. Perhaps you could set up a rotation. Certain days of the week would be fished under one method, say ice fishing, and another day of the week would be dedicated to over the water fishing. That might allow y'all to spread your fishing around so you don't overfish one certain area of the lake, or potentially even under certain conditions. If it was a extremely cold, snowy day, I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to carry a boat out over the ice to reach the water. It seems like that'd be an excellent day for some ice fishing. But on a beautiful day like today, I hope it's a beautiful day.
It
Just
is a
like
pretty nice day.
just like, oh yeah, I didn't mention, but it is raining.
You guys are in the middle of a blizzard. No, it's a nice day. It's cleared. The blizzard kind of that came through yesterday cleared up the weather a little bit.
On a beautiful day like today, I'd welcome a walk.
So this is the elf speaking. So what you're saying is that some days of the week we should have the ice fishing where we'll catch lots of fish and generally really help the town of Goodmead, and then in the other days of the week, in order to ease the conscience of the old comers, we will hinder ourselves to walk out into the water and fish in waters that just aren't as good as ice fishing.
But wouldn't you say if you wander out to the deeper waters, wouldn't that be where the bigger fish are?
Hmm.
Now, sure, there's a convenience aspect to the ice fishing here, but the walk might be worth it for the bigger catch.
Convenience aside, many of the I have found that many of the heavier knucklehead trout have found home just close to the shoreline underneath the water where they are away from some of the other larger predator monsters in the water. Have you the rumors from Bremen, the monster in their lake? Surely we have one here too.
So,
Levi stands tall right here in this moment and he says, "Are you telling me that you are choosing ice fishing not for the convenience, but because you are scared to venture out in a boat onto the lake?"
The dwarf from the water fishing. That's exactly what they're saying. These youngsters don't know the a hard day's work if it hit them in the face. They only want to take things that are easier because they're scared.
Now, hold on. If there is one thing that I value, it is honesty. And Levi very quickly glares at Dell.
look away.
And he says, "Now, to get to the root of this problem, we need truthfulness. Okay? I need you to be truthful about the reasons why you are attempting to select your choice. It is the only way to resolve this issue. Do you understand?"
The one of the humans from the water fishing steps forward. Yes, but we spent 2 years arguing with this since the everlasting winter came. These newcomers came to town and thought that ice fishing is a new thing, but we know when this all goes away, when the summers come back, they'll be looking for that ice and not have any of the experience of fishing on a boat. But we're both set in our ways. We need Dell to decide. he needs to show us his skills if he wants to win the votes of the fishermen.
Does one of the fishing camps appear to have more members?
It is a 3-3 split.
All right, so
All
we
right.
just have to pick one of the sides and then make sure one of the other people doesn't show up for the vote. Hmm.
It's a way. It's a way to do it. Yeah, you could look at it that way.
Well, I don't know. I feel like when you put it that way, the over the water fishing does seem like the smarter investment in one's future.
See, I told you. I told you that this was what we needed to do.
Levi leans down and whispers into Dell's ear, because we are interested in Goodmead's future. Go on.
Because we are interested in Goodmead's future. I walk over and place like one arm around one member of each of the like around the shoulders of each of members from like either side. And it's this future that we'll all be striving towards. The
You know,
prosperity of all of Goodmead.
well, I suppose that your outlook is a bit better than Shandar, although he has already guaranteed us that we will be having a larger dock. What do you wish to provide to us?
Oh, a larger dock for sure. I mean, that's obviously a necessity. I mean, there's a reason why I'm here speaking with you all before any of the other groups. I see the need that the fishermen require. You put forth so much effort, and just because y'all may not have the largest majority here within the city, everyone just kind of marginalizes you guys.
So,
I
so
assume.
what you're saying is you're going to give us a larger dock, and that's it. So there's nothing separating you from Shandar.
Oh no, a larger dock is the least of the things I'll do for you all. Now, Shandar really only has a focus on promoting his own business with the lumber work. I myself have a wider businessman's outlook on things. So not only do I want to make things possible for you all, facilitate the work that you all do fishing for the people of Goodmead, but I'm going to make sure that I can get out into the 10 towns and drive up the value of Goodmead's mead. I think that we can sell higher and a little more exclusively to increase the stipend that everyone here receives from the sale of the mead. I'm sure a
That's
little
all.
extra money wouldn't be amiss, would it?
That's all good and well, says the dwarf from the water fishing side. But why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Show us your skill in fishing. Show us you have some sort of resonance with our career choice, and we will put aside our differences. He kind of looks and stares down the ice fishing side, and they reluctantly they kind of like shake their head. And we will support you. If you say you will do everything you will, you could always use the extra money for some better tackle, newer boats, maybe even a hut here for the ice fishers who just don't want to take that walk out.
Now, that's the kind of accommodations I think we can all agree would be best. Very nervously glance over at Levi. Uh, absolutely. Yeah. Let's go.
And he kind of just like points just 20 feet off the dock out here in the water. Boop. I'm pretty sure that's more than 20 feet. 70 feet. And he's just like, we haven't dug any holes there. Should be some nice and solid ice. And picks up a saw, hands it to Dell, and is like, let's see what you have. You can, your friend can help you with this part.
Levi just smiles and he extends his hand for the saw.
Pass it over.
And then he just like walks down the dock towards the spot.
All right. So in order to dig a hole in the ice, you just need to make a strength check.
All right. Let me give it a shot here. Theoretically, this is my strong suit.
Strong.
You kind of butcher the ice. You don't get a nice clean hole. It has some jagged little edges to it. You kind of just took a saw to it the wrong way. But you do make a hole. And the guys are just kind of sitting there at the edge of the dock just watching you. And
Levi chuckles and he says, apologies, friends. It is not often that I cut ice. I'm afraid I am new to the area. I promise with time, I will let you. I look forward to you teaching me your ways.
Yes. Well, it's a good thing that you didn't do so well with the ice fishing. Shows more promise for the overwater fishing part. Anyways, now Dell, it's up to you to make a survival check in order to fish. Now, however, you can do it however you want, and if you would like Levi to help you, you can roll something for him to assist you with that.
What the hell am I doing here?
Corey, have they given Dell like any sort of rod or tackle or anything like that?
Yeah, they gave them a tackle whenever they gave him the saw.
Okay, cool. Levi
No.
just chuckles.
Just reach in and grab a fish.
Levi chuckles and just kind of like sits down, cross-legged, making sure that he sits his butt on his cloak so that his pants don't get wet. And he just kind of gestures to the ice and he says, it's very simple, Del. You just have to drop your line with the tackle on it into the water, and when you feel a tug, you simply pull back.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
And Levi turns and looks back and he says, do you mind if I take a stab and I fish as well? I enjoy fishing just in my pastime.
They kind of look amongst each other and they say, fine. But it'll be his fish that we judge, not yours.
Of course.
All right. So give me a survival check from both of you guys.
Sure.
Nice.
So you guys sit there.
What is the dice bot doing today?
and sit there. You sit there some more, and after about an hour, you guys have had no bites. And they kind of like, the ice fishermen have just kind of like, slowly we were standing, now they're sitting, they're talking amongst each other, playing some cards, and they kind of keep looking over. Sure, now they're like, you caught anything yet?
Gentlemen, I would like to ask, how, when you are ice fishing, what is your average daily catch? It seems that this may not be the right spot.
I mean, we average anywhere between 2 to 5 knucklehead trouts an hour between all of us.
Do you normally fish closer to the shore?
We fish all around. Sometimes in the shore, sometimes further out. Where you are seems to be a good spot, though. Must be something else that's causing him not to bite.
I see.
We'll give you another hour. Try again. And if not, we'll call the ice fishing a bust. Like it usually is.
There's no need to be directly confrontational to your peers.
So give me another survival check.
Are you shitting me right now?
You get eaten by a knucklehead trout.
So Dell, you catch you feel a bite. You feel something. You start tugging on it.
Okay. Tug.
Tug.
Got one. Got a big one.
And it slips from your hands. And the rod and reel gets just sucked into the hole.
Levi bursts out laughing.
I'm gonna slide over a little bit so that Levi's body is blocking the fisherman from being able to see. Quick, pass me your rod.
Levi passes the rod over
Okay,
to
you
Dell.
pull out the rod real quick, and then I'm gonna burn one of the charges of my charm of conjure animals that I got from the Chewinga, and summon the highest challenge rating knucklehead trout I can.
All right.
Levi says, "Oh, I have dropped my the fishing pole is gone."
This feels like a big one.
Ooh. Yeah. All right. Pull it out. And show it off.
I can't even hardly lift it. Levi, help me.
Yeah, I help him pull it out. Levi's strength score is 19, so I think he can do it.
All right. Yeah. So technically, I want to point out, with your charm of summon animal or conjure animal, you could. Oh God, you could summon a lot.
Probably, yeah, it's multiple fish, considering I don't know what the challenge rating of the knucklehead trout is, but
0. So
the fish just start jumping out of the hole into their hands.
So as you're like as you pull this rod, I assume you wouldn't. Would you just summon one, or would you summon like?
Well,
full
conjure animal
amount?
says that we can summon 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's go for all 8 knucklehead trout.
As you part to
On
pull
one
one
hook.
out, one is stuck on a hook, and the other knucklehead trout, like they're like human centipede. So you like guys pull, and they bit into each other's tail, and you just start like pulling out knucklehead trout after knucklehead trout. And the fishermen just like drop their cards. Their mouths are just dumbfounded, and they're just like, whoa, what? What is this? What the? I've never seen anything like this. What did you do? How did you get them to do that?
Behold!
Yeah, and they all kind of like rush over to Dell, pushing Levi out of the way, and they're just like hounding you with questions. What did you do? Did you twist your wrist when you were pulling them out? What bait are you using? Did you have anything? Do you have any secret recipes for your bait that caused them to? I just don't understand.
It's all in the wrist. I make a bunch of really awkward wrist motions that probably aren't
Levi just
conducive
clenches-
to actual fishing.
Levi just clenches his jaw and he like looks away.
All right, roll me deception, Del Monte.
Okay, I'm usually better at that one. But the rolls today. There we go.
Woo! I know. Everyone's like, oh, thank God. Yeah, they're like in the wrist, and they all do their best to like imitate your. Describe it for us. How is your wrist? What wrist motions are you doing?
It probably looks like I'm like jerking off.
Okay. They're just like, okay. They start just imitating it, and the overwater fishermen, they're just really dumbfounded. They're like, I've never caught anything like this, even in the water. And the human, who seems to be the leader of the group, turns over to the ice fishing group. All right, Tanoa, Rayon, Dell's proven without a doubt that ice fishing seems to be the way to go, and until the winter storms have relaxed, we'll concede. We'll try it your way for a little while. I mean, if we can even get a fraction of the luck that and skill that Dell has shown us today, I think we'll be able to put good mead on the map for a new fishing town. And that's what you guys were here for, was to help us diversify our investments and help us look beyond reliance on mead. And Dell has shown us that there's definitely a way to do that. So they all kind of shake hands um and yeah, and they all kind of like go back over to the dock, grab their rod and reel, start digging their own holes. You notice the half elf from the water fishing side who had no arms, he just has this like rod that's just magically floating in front of him.
Nice.
And he has a saw that he pulls out of like from his pack, and it just floating again, just as if it's controlled by an invisible hand. He's just digging at the ice.
Hell yeah, magical accessibility tools.
Or maybe he's just really good at using Mage Hand. You don't know that.
I mean, since he has no arms, that is his magical accessibility tool.
So yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
they kind of
kick
like
all of these fish back into our hole.
when you
so
start
that
kicking
no-
one
Why
of the
would
fish,
you do that?
the other one, everyone
so
else
no
just like
one asks weird questions when they vanish in an hour.
they're kind of just like looking at you, and they move to like stop you. Like, what are you doing?
Start kicking faster.
uh, what what are you doing? And they like start rushing towards you. You're about 4 fish in, you still have 4 more fish that are just flopping around, but since they all bit into each other's tail and didn't let go, it
Just like
just slowly
slide in like a chain.
it's just slowly like and they weren't able to grab any of them before they all slide in. They're like, what did you do that for? We could have each had a knucklehead trout here and 2 more to spare. Why would you do that?
Well, I figured you wanted the satisfaction yourself. I mean, a fisherman's pride is his catch, right? Or her.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a female in the group.
there's one. Yeah, they kind of just sit there and
And I
they're
mean, with my technique, you'll all have all those fish back and more before before lunchtime, I'm sure.
uh, he's it, yeah, okay. um okay, well, they kind of look around the group. I think it's safe to say you have our vote. um so we're just gonna get back to fishing then.
Excellent. Best wishes.
So
Thank you for the vote. I think it's safe to say that you all have my interest.
best fishes. All right, so let's go to um let's go ladies first. Rosemary, where are you?
So before Rosemary goes to the lumberjack's house, she is going to, well, in the speaker's house, she's gonna brew up 2 big ol' like pitchers of coffee. And like any cups that she can find to bring with her,
Okay.
just in case.
This pitcher of coffee. Describe the container.
I mean, I
Is it good-
assume the speaker hosted people
Yeah, he probably
pretty
has a pot.
regularly because he's the speaker of like the entire town. I assume he has like meetings in his house. That's probably the reason why he has the house. He probably has some sort of entertaining equipment. So he probably has like a coffee pot and or like a teapot.
Yeah, like a percolator or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, like, I'm just gonna fill up as much coffee as I can hold in my hands because I know there's plenty of lumberjacks.
Yeah. Yeah. So you make your way over with your hands full of this piping hot coffee, cups just kind of clinking in your hand, and make your way over to the lumberjacks' yard.
And you
There's a
said that
couple of Yeah, there's
they're
a
on the
couple of
porch.
they were on the porch this morning, but now there's a couple in the yard working. There is one in the porch, and you assume the rest are inside. There is a total of one. They last time you visited, not including Shandar, there were 7 other lumberjack.
Okay.
You do not see Shandar outside anywhere.
Okay, good.
What you do see is you see 2 dwarves in the yard next to a halfling, and then a human sitting on the porch.
I'll say, here's a good bunch of timber beasts. How you loggers doing today? Who wants some coffee? Who wants some black gold?
If you're here to get our votes, you might as well turn around, says the one on the porch. The
I
one with
am here to talk to you to figure out what is in your best interest.
Our best interest is to support our lumberjack hero, Shandar.
And
Well,
what about to
you-
support yourselves?
Shandar support us. Through him, we support ourselves.
Yes, well, I understand there was an accident recently with one of your men. How is he doing?
He kind of looks at you, then he looks down at his foot that's missing. He looks back up to you. I'd have to say he's not doing very well.
I mean, I can see that, and I'm so sorry. I think we discussed the matter of disability payments or hazard pay previously. Have you gotten any of that? Have you gotten anything towards perhaps if you wish to have a prosthetic, or be it magical or benign?
Hazard pay, disability pay. So what? When somebody can't work, we all have to provide for them? What is this?
You put your blood, sweat, and tears into this company. I would expect that it would do the same for you if something were to happen. How about your choker setters and your fallers? Do they get hazard pay in case a cable snaps or a fall goes wrong? What about when you get caught by a falling widowmaker? Are the snubbers on your sleighs inspected regularly to prevent them failing on the way down a steep hill? Come on, guys, look after yourselves. You aren't short stakers, you're home guards. You're in it for the long haul, for the love of the work and the feel of a good axe in your hand. You deserve better than some hardtack outfit. You deserve only the best. Just because your king snipe wants to feel all high and mighty doesn't mean he deserves to drag the rest of you through the sawdust to get there.
So
I googled so many logging terms.
So the person on the chair is like nodding his head because obviously the NPC understands everything you said. But me as a dungeon master was just like, what the fuck? What is happening? I understood Widowmaker, but nothing else.
A widowmaker
So anyway,
is actually a dead branch that usually is up in a tree above a lumberjack or above a logger, because you don't actually call them lumberjacks. Lumberjacks are the people who go to fairs and like throw axes and shit. Loggers are the ones who cut down trees.
well, so you're like the people inside the house start kind of like exiting and listening to your spiel that you give there. The 2 dwarves that and the halfling that were in the yard have come out, and you have the attention of
I'm like pouring coffee as I go and like making sure everyone has like a piping hot cup and like patting people on the shoulder. Like, you should all be packing a card. Unionizing is the way to keep yourself safe and well compensated for your noble work. My candidate, Dell, is a man of the people, of the workers. He will personally guarantee collective bargaining rights, new safety regulations, benefits such as hazard pay and disability, even pensions, so that you can be comfortable in retirement after giving your blood, sweat, and tears to your work.
So if Dell is personally involved in our lives, then why has he sent a woman to speak for him?
Excuse you, I can
have to
follow
work at
along
that.
better than any of you. Or just as good.
I'm sure you can, but obviously your race gives you a bit of an unfair advantage, doesn't it?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I have just as much of an advantage as any of you here, and I motion to the halfling.
Well, we don't go to the halfling for chopping down trees. The halfling's the one who climbs up into the tree and chops the top down.
Yes, well, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and that's how we That's how you run a business. If everyone was chopping down trees, you'd have no scouters. You'd have no one to haul the logs away or split the timber.
You do speak a lot of our lingo. It's well. It's good to hear that someone of Dell's camp has knowledge of our career. However, you're kidding yourself if you think that we'll turn on Shandar. But we
I
would
am
like
not
to hear
asking you to
more.
turn on Shandar. I am asking you to consider what is best for yourselves. And I wonder if Shandar is looking out for what is best for his people or looking out for what is best for him.
Yes, Shandar left this morning telling us he's going to come back with an ace in the hole that will ensure that Dell doesn't win the election.
Well, that seems more about him securing an election than him securing rights and benefits for you, his workers.
And who would pay for these rights and benefits for our workers?
Well,
Who would pay for
the
all these new loggers and lumberjacks who would come to town disabled and join our union? And he does it with air quotes, as you put it. And
well, see, that is the benefit of having the town behind you. If all of the town supports each other, it supports you just as you support it, and it will put infrastructure and pension and taxes towards all of these benefits that we talk about, because you are bringing a service to this town, and the
taxes.
town should. And
Now you want to charge more taxes? What's next?
I want
the
to
fishermen are going to
redirect
get
the
their
taxes
own.
that you already pay. I want to redirect them back into your pocket because your taxes should be benefiting you and the people around you. How are the roads leading in and out of town that you drive your sleighs on? Your taxes could go towards making them better and making it easier to get to and from other towns.
So what? We get a union, and the fishermen get a union, and I'm paying for the disabled fishermen with no hands out there?
Well, I mean, if that is what the fishermen want, it is about what you want and what you want in a candidate and what you want in your representation.
What we want is for a lumberjack to run the town so that the lumberjack's ideals will be front and center. No more of this nonsense with bees. If we keep relying on the bees and this winter continues, sure enough, soon they'll all die out and Goodmead will be left with no industry in a dying town.
Yes,
Is that
but
what
if
you
you
want
cut,
for us?
I believe in a sustainable logging model, because if all you focus on is cutting trees, soon there will be no trees left to cut. There must be
now you-
balance, there must be sustainable, and being able to plant new growth that you will then be able to harvest in the next year, and the bees are a part of this. The bees will help pollinate, help it grow faster.
Are you saying the massive forest outside our town is not sustainable? We could spend
I'm saying
years
if
and
you only
years,
focus
generations cutting it down, and you would still have more trees to go.
True, but the growth that you talk about and the elimination of other trades within 10 towns would mean that the only trade that Goodmead would have would be logging, and eventually that growth would drive you to cut the forest back to the boundaries of other towns, and they would not be quite as amenable to a Goodmead logger taking their forest.
And this growth you speak of with the town, who is going to build these houses? Where is this wood going to come if we can't chop down the forest?
I'm not saying you cannot chop down the forest. I'm saying that planting more where you chop it down is just as important in order to keep your territory lush and fertile instead of leaving to other lands or leaving to other forests.
Planting more trees? He kind of looks around and gestures to the frozen ground everywhere. Please, do tell us more. How would we go about planting in this?
This land will not always be frozen. It is short-sighted to assume that this winter will be forever.
We've lived 2 years in this winter. Have you? Have you spent your days wandering, sacrificing food every month to Oral to just plead with the goddess that she show us mercy? And none has been shown yet.
I am a child of the Oak Father. I know more about trees than I think that you... I know more about trees and the ways of the forest than I know about people.
So are you saying you can make a tree grow in this environment?
I'm saying if it is the Oak Father's will, and his will is always to return what you have taken, to leave a place better than you found it.
If it is the Oak Father's will that you get the lumberjacks' vote, then the Oak Father will help you plant a tree.
All I want is what is best for you.
And so does Shinji.
I will actually as a show, I will cast Entangle. Not on anyone, but like on an empty space near the house. And it says grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square. For the duration, these plants turn the ground and the area into difficult terrain. I will say there are ways to continue growth even in this winter.
Well, yes. If we all had magic at our fingertips, this would be such an easy winter now, wouldn't it? But how long will your weeds here last? The frost already starts to creep upon them. Soon enough, they'll be frozen just like everything else. The trees grow strong. We can cut them down, give us more wood, which can lead to warmth, more housing. And other towns need wood as well. If we cut back and use these sustainable practices, what then?
Well, then there will be plenty of wood for all of you. I'm not saying to reduce the amount you cut, I'm saying to add more where you leave off. If this winter is eternal, as you say, then there will be no growth anywhere. You might as well start trying to make up for lost ground.
So, one of the dwarves that was in the yard kind of, well,
Oh, sir, that sounds like an awful cough. Is there sawdust in your lungs? Are you all right?
And this black, like, sludge comes out of his mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
Excellent. Okay, good. As I was saying,
Christ. I'm gonna pull out a good berry and try to give it to him.
Thank you. And he puts it in his mouth. And he's like, excellent. Now he's choking.
Heimlich.
Are you trying to kill me?
I'm trying to help you.
Anyways, Nico's right. You speak all this good stuff, but you're adventurers. Are you saying you're going to stay in Goodmead and fight for all the ideals you say, or is this just all talk, more politicians? You know, Speaker Reelsbearer once said he was going to look out for the lumberjacks, but then him and Shandar got into a little tiff, and, well, you can see we weren't very happy.
I cannot promise that we will stay forever in Goodmead, but you do need people to trade with outside of Goodmead. We can be ambassadors for Goodmead and for the loggers here in order to cement good trade relations and keep customers coming.
Yes, we've already heard how good ambassadors you are in other towns, pushing forward another town's mead distribution above the others.
Yes, but don't you want to be who we fight for?
Well, it seems that you're fighting for
we've
another town.
We've shown that we are good ambassadors in that we were able to help another who asked that of us. We can do that for you.
And what, the next town? You become their ambassadors? And slowly but surely, Goodmead is on the bottom of your list.
Well, we will not be speakers of those other towns now, will we? That is a responsibility that our Dell will take upon himself, and that we, as his party and friends, will support.
You can speak all you wish of all these good and fantastic changes you'll bring to our careers, but we've yet to see anything of merit that we truly believe you can pull off. The only thing you've truly done is beat up a Verbeeg, right? I mean, you got the cast. I surely hope you had a trophy from your kill.
Not all problems need to be resolved with violence, you know.
Yes, but those that are not resolved with violence often come back and back and back.
We'll see.
We will see. You probably won't be here, now will you?
Oh, speaking of, if you ever want some good goat milk and or maybe fleece, depends on if he figures that out. Verbeek might be a good trade partner. All you need to do is not try to murder him on sight.
He kind of looks around. He's like, I'm sorry. You suggesting we trade with the beast who killed our speaker? Is these the values
allegedly.
that you share? Allegedly kill? I'm sorry. Is there not a dead body lying in rest at the shrine of the flaming sword?
And where is that flaming sword? Because it wasn't with the Verbeek.
I'm sure it was.
It was
You
not.
being good friends with him, just probably keeping it to yourselves, aren't you? It's what good adventurers do, don't they?
She'll start being like, I don't have a flaming sword, and I'll pull things out of her belt and like out of her pack and be like, no flaming sword here, no flaming sword there. No, I don't have a flaming sword.
Why would you bring the flaming sword in front of any of our townspeople? We'd immediately suspect you for having part of the death of the speaker.
I mean, where else would we keep it? We don't have a house. We don't have a house. I mean, we're all here. All our stuff is here.
We saw you coming out of the speaker's house this morning. Are you agreeing that we can search the house for the sword?
Sure.
Fine. They kind of look at everyone. Well, I don't think we have to say any more of how futile your conversation is with us. But
even if we don't get your vote, I just want to know that we're looking out for you. Now, I'll serve up the last of the coffee.
Good. Well, we'll keep it in mind. Well, we'll tell Shandar of all the funny ideas you had when he returns.
Right. Have a good day, gentlemen.
All right. Anything else, Rosemary?
Where
would you like to head out to?
I might see if I can meet up with Bitte at the Artisans. He's gonna have a hella head start on me.
All right. So, Bitte, you are in the mead hall meeting with the artisans, right? Or is it arborists?
Arborists.
Arborists. Or apiarists.
I guess if they're both there.
It's arborists and apiarists. The artisans have not yet met. Their meeting is just a little bit. All of your guys' split the party moments happened simultaneously.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you do see there, and there is Baranon and his daughter is there, kind of up there and messing with the bees, making sure they're all nice and happy. And there's another halfling that's sitting down under at the bottom, kind of taking notes when you walk into the mead hall.
Salutations.
This is the halfling talking. Yes?
What are you taking notes of there?
Oh, well, I'm an apprentice of Baranon. I'm here to learn the ways of the apiarists and the arborists here in Goodmead, because I want to be as much help as I can.
You seem a very diligent student. This is a noble trade. I wish you great luck, and your work ethic seems to indicate it.
Oh, thank you so much. If you could tell Baranon that, I think that would really help me to move up my way at the ladder.
In fact, I may. Baranon. Salutations.
He looks down at her. What do you want?
Well, I just wanted to come and have a word and update you on the very big situation.
Yes. He starts making his way down the ladder, and he's like, I hope you showed that Verbeek what's what. Gave him a good javelin through the chest like he gave our speaker, right?
Well, it turns out, in fact, it is a more complicated situation than it at first appeared.
I don't know what is complicated. It killed our speaker. You should have killed him, right?
That is what Shandar would like us all to believe.
Oh, what do you mean?
You see, the Verbeek did indeed strike the killing blow to the noble speaker, but only after he had been betrayed and stabbed in the back by the coward Shandar.
And you believe this Verbeek?
I believe the stab wounds in the speaker's back, the Verbeek, though a savage in his ways and uncouth and uninterested and indeed violent creature, is not a coward, nor was the speaker to turn his back on a foe.
That's true. The speaker would never turn his back on anything when he's defending the town.
The
But-
Verbeek, though he did not know Shandar, mentioned that described someone matching Shandar's description standing behind the speaker during their noble contest and battle. And the speaker cried out in pain before lurching forward onto the spear. The Verbeek did not even have the chance to strike a proper killing blow before this short, smelly man behind the speaker had the chance to push the speaker onto his spear. Truly strange and ridiculous things. A pure coward's gambit. And not only this, if I may continue before it is, the Verbeek. How would a creature like this come to know that there would be a mead shipment? I can tell you how. He saw the same short, smelly, loud man in the woods with another of his logging kin, speaking very loudly while making direct eye contact with him, that a shipment of meat would be coming through. This entire business was planned out, beginning to end, by Shandar. Mind you, Shandar, snake in the grass that he is, has made it so that there is not evidence of sufficient weight to bring before the council. Truly a shameful machination. But I do not mean to bore you with these unfortunate tidings. I'm mostly here to inform you that myself and my party, including Rosemary and Dell, who is in fact was tapped by Olivena to run in her stead. She found some quality in him to be an equal proxy for her to serve as this town speaker. We have recovered the mead, some of it already drunk, unfortunately. But we've recovered it and we have secured the safety of shipping so you can resume mead shipments throughout the Tin Towns.
Oh, well. This is truly a interesting tale you've said, but
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, I know. I kind of gave you a lot at once. Take your time.
yes. Well, I'm sure you understand we simply can't take the Verbeek at his word. However, I've always had my suspicions of Shandar, over push to shift the economy of good mead away from the mead, something that's so clearly helping us out. But if you're relying on this the word of a Verbeek to change my mind, I have to say, kind of not with you on that. Now, if you had some other evidence that connected Shandar to the death of the speaker, that we would be happy to take into account along with the Verbeeg's own message. But
I understand completely. It is a highly unfortunate situation that Shandar is so duplicitous as not to leave sufficient evidence beyond the word of a surprisingly gentle, if brutish and violent creature. It is unfortunate, but if I may, I would state that despite this heinous crimes and duplicitous action, which admittedly there is not sufficient physical evidence of beyond this Verbeek's testimony, he has made very clear and apparent that he has no respect or trust or care for your business and your trade. Shandar is lumber this, lumber that. Nothing of the common man, nothing of the true breadwinners of this town. Now, in your trade, if I may speak to something which you of course know more about, your trade has helped more than anything else to establish trade routes from Goodmead to the surrounding towns. It is a high demand luxury item which everyone wants a taste of. This cold winter is an oppressive thing, and to have the purity and the sweetness of good mead, it lifts the spirits, it heals us all, and so that primal demand to be whole is answered by the mead and creates these trade routes between these other communities, which benefits all the businesses in Goodmead. It benefits the loggers themselves, who are easier able to transport, who are easier able to build relationships with the other towns. It benefits the artisans who can join on to the caravans for security and companionship and to make sure they don't get lost in transit. It benefits the entirety of this town, and a speaker who would actively injure something that benefits every single citizen of this town is not a speaker who belongs in power.
well, your Verbeeg story aside, there is no goodwill here for Shandar, and we are more than happy to support Dell should he wish to look out for our interests, and I believe he will. He's seems like a good fella with a good solid head on his shoulder. And it's at this point that Baronon's daughter Faye, who was still on the top of the ladder, comes sliding down real fast, and she like plumps down right next to you, and she's like, "Yeah, that good for nothing logger. I wish somebody would just give him a taste of his own medicine. Oh, he just needs to be knocked down to size. That's for sure."
That would be quite a way for him to be knocked down.
So they're always so bully. They always bully me whenever I'm out in the forest behind the meat hall trying to see if we have any lost bees. Faye, the little girl. Faye, daddy's boy. Faye, whose mother is a failed fisherman. How dare they?
How dare they indeed?
I'm with you for sure. Baronon, of course, is father here. carries all the weight when the votes, but you have me and the other youths that help us out with the trees and the bees. We'd be more than happy should something unfortunate happen to Shantar. Baranon kind of looks, and he's like, no, Faye says, I didn't say you should kill him. No, no death near, but, good wallop wouldn't hurt. Maybe
Well,
show him who's the real strong man in town. You guys. And you, I mean, look at you.
I am a fairly strong man, but most importantly, if I may offer a bit of unsolicited advice, most of my strength is not from my great size. It is not from my great fortitude. It is from my willingness to be myself and from my ability to cast off the words and criticisms of those too ignorant to see the pain that they cause to themselves and others. These bullies out in the woods, pay them no mind. You are an enterprising young woman, and you have heart, and they have nothing better to do. Keep your eye on that horizon. I'm sorry, this is a little preachy. I apologize. I just want to say, screw them, they suck. You're cool.
Ah, that's what I like to hear. All right, Father, I think we should give him the thumbs up, right? Yeah. Yeah, we need to get back to work anyways. Now that the shipments are beginning to resume, we need to make sure the honey is at full production if we can. So he kind of just turns around. He's just like, you can let everybody know that the arborists and the apiarists are behind Dell. He starts climbing up. And it's at this time that Rosemary and Levi and Dell, would you guys have headed into the meat hall after you were done with the fishermen?
I'd take a chance to show Levi the shrine of the flaming sword.
Okay.
Yeah, Levi he's down to follow Tell for a while.
Yeah. So
With the idea that they're eventually going to end up in the meat hall.
Okay. So you guys go by the shrine. Nobody's there, and there's. It seems that the blizzard that passed through town, they've already kind of swept away any of the snow that fell down on both the body and the shrine itself. The shrine, it just kind of has you can see now that there is a place for the sword to just be kind of sitting there in the back of the shrine. But yeah, so then you guys all make your way into the meat hall in time for the Artisans Guild. Dooley, the mead maker and person behind the bar at the meat hall, along with 4 other people, kind of start gathering around this the table in the middle of the meat hall, and really notices. Now, I guess for the group, what are you guys doing in the meat hall? Would you?
I'd run up to Bitte and be like, Bitte, how'd it go? I talked with the loggers, or the loggers. I know a lot about logging. But yeah, it went probably as good as it could have gone, but still not great.
Hmm.
How'd
Well,
yours go?
mine went quite well. I had a good discussion. I mean, I was working with a pretty amiable audience, but we have assurances that we have secured the arborists and apiarists' support. There is not much love left for the loggers in this circle, but I was able to kind of formulate a decent argument as practice for the artisans. and kind of work out some of those points together, gauge the public support. Yeah, it was good stuff all around. Pretty happy with it.
And that's when Dell and Levi walk into the door. They see the group of people as well as the rest of the party members.
I wave them over.
Approach
Levi
the
heads
party.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing Betty wants to do,
Mhm.
kind of before everyone shows up and before he separates with the apiarist, is to say, one thing I will say about my story about the Verbeek, my suspicions, and what I believe I have found. I am fairly confident that if Shandar is named speaker, gods forbid, I've no doubt, or weeks, or perhaps even a month or two after, he will happen to find the flaming sword somewhere. So keep an eye out for that.
Mhm.
Find. I just realized that I was doing air quotes to myself. but
Air quote
Beta
find.
does air quotes, and kind of like puts a finger to his nose and gives a knowing look to the guy. It's like just to like have an eye out, and Beta over the course of the next day he's gonna find out the names of all the people on the Elder Council, and or not all of them, but at least Elena and maybe a couple others, and kind of give them the same thing. It's like, hey, since it's not there, it may or may not be found during the investigation, but I guarantee you, in a few days or a couple weeks, Shandar will find the sword.
Mhm.
So putting that out there, so if he does win and anything happens,
Mhm.
and he's like, ah, cool, bring the sword out now. It's like, they'll be like, fucking gotcha, motherfucker. Playing that long game.
Yeah. All right. Well, Levi, Dell, Rosemary, and Bete, you guys are all sitting at a table together, right? Or Dell and Levi, would you guys have gone someplace else when you walked into the meat hall?
No,
I think it would make sense to head over.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
sit at a different lunch table.
Okay. I'll be right back, but you guys keep talking. Do your thing.
Say, hi guys, how'd it go? You catch some fish?
A lot of fish.
That's exciting. Those knuckleheaded trout, they're hard to catch.
Yeah.
Dell made it look easy.
Yeah.
Were your efforts successful? I believe we were able to secure the support fishermen.
Well done. I had similar luck with the apiarist and arborist lobby.
Did you know that the loggers don't even have disability payments or a pension? When you become speaker, Del, we got to talk about their collective bargaining rights and get them well compensated for, because they're just so brainwashed they don't even know that they're missing all this stuff. Shandar's a jerk.
Oh yeah.
That is one way to put it.
I mean, he's also a murderer and exploiting people and power hungry and all that stuff, but he's just a jerk.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't. It's just kind of like lower my voice a little bit. I really don't even care all that much about being a speaker, but I sort of just don't want that guy to win.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, we're definitely like, I mean, we got stuff to do, so we should probably like find someone to be your representative when we leave. But we can't let him win.
the elders can likely serve to handle the administrative functions of the town quite well. In your absence, I would argue, not to be disrespectful, perhaps better, as they are from here and have run a town in the past. And I don't
Yeah,
know.
Del, no offense, but you're gonna be a really bad. I feel like you're not gonna be a great politician, but you know, it's still better than the guy who murdered another guy.
This is true. So
No offense taken.
And I will also note that as far as, because the speaker also serves something of a defensive position within the town, perhaps the laconic half-elf that was at the shrine when we first went there may be willing to take up the defensive post within the town, perhaps.
Maybe.
Maybe.
She
Sure, we
seemed
could ask
capable
around.
enough.
We'll make a committee.
We should also inform her of our suspicions.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Levi nods and pretends like he knows what you're talking about.
So
he doesn't
about
ask
this,
about it.
about this time, you guys overhear the other group kind of talking about things that are artisan related.
Oh, that's probably the artisan group. I should go introduce myself.
Yeah. We'll back you up.
Absolutely. Rosie, maybe stay here? No, it's fine. Come on.
No, it's okay. I can stay here. I'll chat with the bees.
Okay. I mean, and you can definitely come over. Just maybe don't just blurt out a murder. And we can address
Are
that.
we not supposed to be talking about the murder?
Yes, but also strategically.
Okay. All right. She taps the side of her nose, and then just kind of keeps her finger there because she doesn't really know what that's about.
If we make it the only thing we're talking about, and no one's responsive to the degree of evidence we have, then it's oh, they have nothing to talk about. But if it's oh yeah, this stuff is shitty and it happened, ugh, what a bummer, but all these other reasons are good enough reasons on their own to go Dale over Shandar, then it becomes, okay, we have all these reasons. Also, did you hear that thing about Shandar?
Right, yes, okay. I can do that. I think. Hopefully.
Well, we can find out right now. Come along. We can talk to the bees later. We'll have all day tomorrow.
Okay.
Get drunk and talk to bees.
Yeah, so you guys kind of walk over, and as you walk over, you pick up more and more of the conversation, and they're in the midst of talking about various ways to repurpose, the byproducts of a lot of the things in town. One lady's talking about fishbone jewelry, another person's talking about carving wooden figurines. There's a beeswax sculptor talking about, these cold winter beeswax is a bit hard to work with. And finally, there's somebody kind of fiddling around with a little pipe.
Did you say this is a talking beeswax sculpture?
No. He's talking about beeswax sculptures.
Oh,
he's a beeswax. He's a beeswax sculptor.
Okay, I just heard. I was like, damn. First Johnny No Arms, and now there's a talking beeswax sculpture. What a fantastical world!
Yeah, the talking beeswax sculpture is actually the warlock that speaks with the queen bee patron.
Full circle.
Okay, so my backup character is now officially a warforged who is a sentient beeswax sculpture warlock.
A bee
Hell,
forged.
yes. I love it.
With this gem in his forehead.
Mm-hmm. He was but he's secretly the trapped soul of the old speaker. I don't know.
I am a warforged. I speak for the bees.
It's actually just a fuck ton of bees in a trench coat.
You could
A
The
play
person
baby
who just
died.
decided to be a robot.
play
One
a
sentient
swarm
bee
beast
running the whole thing.
or ranger.
We had a child, but the baby died because it was half all of time of space and half a million ants.
Okay. All right. All right. Anyways, Dooley, the meat waker, kind of notices you guys walk over and she stands up. She's like, "Oh, excellent. Dell, was it? I've heard you are our new speaker candidate, opposite of Shandar.
That is correct.
Well, come sit down with us, grab some chairs, and meet the rest of the Artisan Guild."
Excellent.
They all kind of look at you with these very haughty, like holier than thou looks. Kind of just like, wow.
Are they currently working on art, like at the table? Like, is one of them like making the jewelry, or like, are they just kind of discussing techniques?
They all have their tools out, but they're not actively working on anything.
Are there any like pieces around on or around the table?
Yeah, there's a small sculpture, some earrings made from like a fish bone, and a small wooden a wooden figurine that's in the very early stages. It's like half block and half bear.
Rosemary is just gonna like ooh and ah over them. Be like, wow, that's really cool.
The figurine carver kind of just like shifts his sculptures to the other side. He's like, yes, it's very cool. Yeah,
It's beautiful craftsmanship. Obviously, you put a lot of time and effort into your craft. It's really impressive.
Yes. Well, thank you. Glad to hear that. So they kind of turn to the group and look around. Like, well, give us your spiel. I assume that's why you're here.
Oh, I just wanted to take the opportunity to really get to know you all as someone who's new in town. I haven't had the pleasure of interacting with any of y'all before. So why don't you all just tell me a little bit about yourselves?
Okay. Dooley, you of course know her, the dwarf that was behind the bar, the Mead Hall, who came from one of the dwarven mines on vacation one time to good mead and just stayed after making an excellent mead. Then you have Toiv Nasbright. That's Toiv. He's a halfling wooden figurine carving, wearing way too many belts that carry all of his wooden carving tools. You have the fishbone jewelry maker Sky Ephraim, an elf who has her jewelry is just this beautiful pearlescent color, following quickly by the beeswax sculpture Erg Honey Eater. He's an orc who does not eat honey. And finally, you have the musical instrument carver and musician Piper Excellente. She is blind, but she seems to just have this way with the music, always knowing exactly where to put her fingers.
Fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all and learn about the intricacies of your various crafts.
Oh, since you speak about learning about our crafts, we had been thinking in what way you could show us that you are really the best one for the town. Because for half of us here, without Shandar, we'd have no craft. We'd have nothing to build. So of course, and I think, and we think, says Toiv, the wooden figurine carver, that you guys should try your hand at our crafts. There's 4 of us here. 4 of you. What say you, Del? Are you up for the
Well,
challenge?
if that's what you would like, then absolutely, I'd love to try it. But I just know up front that there's no way I'd ever be able to match your individual skills.
Oh, well,
Someone has chips right next to the microphone.
That's me again. Sorry.
he did warn us in his one-liner.
Gummy bears.
So yeah, well, we of course don't expect you to be up to our level, although it would be very impressive if you pulled off a masterpiece. However, knowing how well you and knowing the effort you're willing to put into this challenge will really tell us more about who you are as a person, much more than any words that might come out of your mouth.
I see. I'm honored that you would give me the opportunity. Yeah, I
So
suppose we are in the meat hall now. Whoop.
here is how we will do this part. So you each get to pick a craft. Who wants wooden carving, fishbone jewelry making, playing an instrument, or creating a beeswax sculpture?
I want the wooden carving if that's okay.
Okay, wooden carving to Rosemary.
Anybody else have any preferences?
I think Levi looks at his hands, and he looks at Beta's hands, and he looks at the fishbone jewelry making, and he just kind of like looks at Dell and just shakes his head.
Mm.
Um,
Ita is proficient with an herbalism kit, so if one of those seems to fit.
Maybe beeswax? I'm also
Mm.
proficient with an herbalism kit.
No.
I would say
Ita,
beeswax would be the closest one. You could use the kit to maybe mix a new. Be better at mixing it.
Yeah, you could make like a scented candle, maybe.
yeah, Beta will do beeswax sculpting.
Okay.
that leaves me with trying my hand at playing an instrument, which is exciting for Levi, I will say.
All right. So instrument to Levi then,
Yeah.
which leaves jewelry making to Dell.
God, your mic.
Ben.
Is it doing the thing? Okay, hold on.
It's
It's doing the
a
thing.
lot.
It's doing the thing real bad.
All right. So to describe how this is going to go, I'm going to draw a nice big white block. Boop.
Boop.
And I'm then going to draw a bunch of smaller blocks. Boop.
Rosemary's on top of it for some reason.
Boop. Yeah, this is totally not the same size at all. Oops.
Oh my god.
My bad. All right, there we go. Close enough. Probably shift this down a little bit, increase the size of the other ones. It's not perfect, all right, so you have, and this is going to be kind of interesting for the instrument, but you get to choose whatever skill you want when you are crafting, and you must give a reasoning for why you are choosing to craft it or to use it that way, and then you will draw your craft into a box. And oh my god. And so everyone try to make a line and make sure that it pops up on top of the box. Good. Okay, it looks like we can. Oh,
Mine is beneath.
So I can do guidance, but it's concentration, so I can only do it on one person at a time. Can I as we're all crafting, because also it's only like a minute long, can I go in a circle and guidance everyone?
if you put guidance on somebody, will you get? So basically, you're guidancing them, and then everyone's doing it one by one.
Yeah.
Because
guidance. You touch one willing creature. Before the spell ends, target can roll a 1d4 to add the number to one ability check of its choice. But it's concentration, which means I can only hold one of them. And
Right.
it's up to 1 minute. So I assume that we're going to take more than a minute doing our craft.
Right. Yes, you may. So we'll just go one by one. All right. So everyone make their roll, and I will give you guys 5 minutes to draw your craft.
Oh goodness. So we can do any
geez.
role we want as long as we like justify it, yeah?
Yes.
Does that include like just like a straight like ability roll?
Yep.
Okay.
If that's what you wish to do, you just justify how you are. So if you're using intelligence, how is intelligence helping you with the instrument? You know.
Okay.
Alrighty.
How do I erase?
How about a tool check?
Yeah. Tool checks work.
All right.
Absolutely anything. You can do initiative. I mean, I don't know how you would reason initiative, but I mean, I am leaving it up to you guys. Ooh, well done. +4, +4. So, Dell, we'll say Dell rolled first, so Dell gets to go first. Dell, tell us, how is the Thieves Tools helping you with jewelry making?
Well, I've got a bunch of little intricate picks and things that I'm using to place the various components. You know, I'm taking a fishbone skeleton and kind of delicately sawing pieces of it off. I imagine I've got like a small file
Yeah.
of some
Okay.
kind, then using the picks and hooks to place chains and like links and things, attach them all to the various pieces of fishbone.
All right. Well, yeah, draw your fishbone jewelry, and we'll move on to whoever wants to roll next.
Am I
Ooh,
back? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, cool. How do I erase what I have drawn?
What do you have drawn? These little circles?
Yeah.
No, the circles are me. If you go to the select move, you can like select one of the things that you've drawn and hit
Uh-huh.
delete on it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should be able to. I don't see anything of
Is it
yours
like-
though, unless.
Uh,
Oh, you're
I'm in the
purple.
top right. Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
purple.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh shoot.
did you delete it? Oh, okay.
There you go.
Um,
It's gone
okay,
now.
so here's my question for you. How would you like me to draw playing an instrument?
Oh yes, that's the fun one. Draw Levi playing the instrument.
Oh God.
So while you're doing that, Carson, you've rolled next and got a crit on your herbalism. Tell me, how is this herbalism kit helping you with your craft?
Okay, so the herbalism kit contains, it contains clippers, mortar pestle, pouches, and vials. So what Bita's doing is he's using the pieces of the herbalism kit, the mortar, pestle, and the vials to help shape the sculpture and just give him some additional things. I was going to do athletics, because it's higher, and then I was like, what's he gonna do, just fucking smash the shit? No.
Yeah, I punch it so many times it just ends up in this perfect shape.
I punch it until it ends up as a Jackson Pollock on the table. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
you're
so
making.
he
Go on.
so he like first he layers beeswax in the mortar to create like a big domey shell. Why did that erase? Big domey shell. And then he's kind of like, as he works, he's like running to the door to get it cold so it gets hard, and then running back inside to work on it, and then running to the fire to help soften it to do other things. So he's like there's a lot of movement. He like knocks a couple of people's drinks over a little bit. So, or no, nobody's drinking. Haha, fuck them. And so he forms like a dome in the mortar, and then he kind of uses a vial to extend a bit over it, and then he uses his clippers to make some holes and some little nostril things and some notches for teeth, and then he like presses some horns, and before he's done all this, he's taken like some bits of like dried leaf and other things, and he's crushed them up to help and mix them into the beeswax to kind of dye it in like a to get it like a little more white, and also with like some flecks of red in it.
Mm-hmm.
and he makes some he cuts out some other pieces and makes these little fan frill kind of things off to the sides, shockingly delicate work considering his fucking dinner plate hands.
Okay.
And what ends up coming out, or actually, hang on, I delete these frills. I realize they're the wrong kind of frills. And what he is creating is a replica of the skull of an ancient white dragon that he grew up in the shadow of in the cliffs of Clan Thunlakalaga.
How big is this skull of the ancient white dragon? Are we doing it to scale?
No, yeah. So it's in a mortar pestle. So the main bulk of the head is probably about the size of a half a grapefruit.
Okay. All right. Well,
so the whole thing probably fits in your two hands put together.
Excellent work. Excellent work. In fact, the beeswax sculptor Erg is like, oh, damn. That's good. And he kind of takes you to the side, and you guys start discussing the intricacies of what you just did, because he wants to learn from you and he's very impressed with your craft. So
It is fascinating the way temperature plays such a dynamic role in your ability to shape the beeswax. It is truly a fascinating medium. I will have to explore this in my own time.
yes. So now we have Rachel. Rachel used wisdom for
wood carving. Yeah. So my thought was she takes the wood and kind of turns it. Oh, buddy! Sorry, my cat is being a shit. Don't fucking get my coffee. I turned over and he had his paw on the lip of my coffee dregs and was dragging the cup towards him. Oh God. So sorry. I imagine she takes the wood and turns it over and inspects it and it's looking at the grain and everything, and she kind of looks at the wood carver's is this what Shandar is giving you to work with? This has see this is all these sap veins in here. It means that there's going to be a fault line right there. It's going to be sticky and hard to work with and gum up your tools.
The wood carver kind of looks at you and he's like, yes.
You should be getting better cuts than this.
You could use that cut, although you did grab that one out of our discard pile. Would you like me to get a better piece for you?
Please.
Yes. Well, I'll kind of get you a real piece of wood. None of the problems that you just described were.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is better. And she starts trying to carve, but she's not really used to the detail work. So she's trying to use the wisdom to kind of suss out the veins and the not the veins. What am I trying to say?
The grain.
The grain of the wood, and to carve with it and not against it, so that the tool moves smoother and she's able to get better work with it. And she makes a really shitty bear.
You basically make a bear that's as if an artist started drawing new, and when they start drawing faces, they draw a big circle, but then they just forgot to erase it, and they're just like, yep, that's it. That's done.
Yeah, she's not used to the fine detail work with wood.
All right. Well, moving on now, Levi. Last one up. By the way, I love all y'all's drawings. They're really good.
Listen, I don't claim to be an artist, and Levi is definitely also not.
It kind of looks like you're a concrete, you have concrete tools.
Listen, that is a picture of Levi doing the only thing he knows how to do, and he is going to use strength to play the table drum.
No. Is the table drum an actual drum, or is it just a table that you're saying?
It's the table that we're sitting at.
This is the instrument of my people.
Yes. 6
chips.
snacks, Carson.
God damn it. I keep forgetting.
Just walk out of the room.
It's so far away from the microphone.
Well,
I keep
you're-
forgetting. Like it doesn't seem like it should be heard at all. I'm sorry.
Just remember to
No.
mute before you open it.
I'm a bad person.
All right, Levi, give us your roll.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, by the way, Rachel, you did have guidance. Oh, you got an 8. I saw that. Okay. All right, 16.
So he looks at the instrument person and he says, I do not believe I have the finesse to play any sort of small instrument. And so I will play the table drum.
Piper just kind of staring off to the side. Well, all right, let me hear it.
And he just like goes ham. He like kind of like takes his cloak off and kind of sets it on part of the table to like give him like a kind of muffled sound. So that he gets two different sounds, like a loud, like a hard hit on the table, and then like a softer hit. And then he just kind of goes ham, and he just like BS's a melody that he comes up with in his head, and has like a cool little drum solo.
I do enjoy the way you created two sounds from one instrument. However, I wouldn't say this is a solo instrument, but she kind of like joins you in with her pipe. You guys make a very beautiful melody together.
Oh wait, I have guidance. Hold on.
Yeah, anyone who wants to roll.
Nailed it.
Roll D4.
Yeah. So overall, you guys get good responses from the Artisans Guild. Rachel's yours was kind of,
Mine was
you know.
shit.
Oh, they didn't say that. They're a bit nicer when it comes to revealing stuff like that, but they weren't as impressed with yours as they were with everyone else. But they do agree that they will vote for you guys in the election. Well, vote for Dell. They would duly kind of just, well, you did impress us today. I mean, we expected you guys to do something, but you actually did really good work. As you can see, Erg here is extremely fascinated by your skull. I'm sure you'll.
I will admit, I am impressed by your skull. I did not know you had such artistic talent.
I've always had a great love for bones.
Miday's amazing. He can do anything.
So let me delete all this stuff.
You're too kind, Rosie.
No, it's true.
Oh,
I'm
you will probably also want to delete all of my scribbles in the top right-hand corner of the map.
Yes. I'm trying to not delete like everything. All right, you guys need to delete your drawings because I grab onto everything else. So you can just select, do whatever, and delete it.
Did you screenshot before ending? Well, I guess it's recorded. Never mind.
Yes, it is. We do
was
have
like-
60
Want to save these
screenshots a
for
second.
posterity?
Exactly.
So
They're
that is not the
important parts of
selector
our
tool.
character.
All right. So, anyways, you guys, now it's lunchtime. You have a full 24 hours before everyone starts to drink, and then after that,
My screen is all black now.
oh, because
No,
you deleted your character.
token.
Oh,
Bitte just disappears. He's like, oh shit, can't see anything.
light.
Hey, when I can't delete them.
So we wanted to discuss with the council and the person who was at the shrine, yeah?
Yeah.
So we can do that in the rest of the day before everyone gets shit-faced.
Yeah. You guys ask around and you hear that the council members will be actually getting together for a poker night tonight. And
Poker night?
You would prefer
Is
to
this
keep that-
another minigame, Corey?
No, it is not. I have learned my lesson when it comes to card-based minigames.
Wait, I
D&D.
have proficiency in playing cards.
I'm sure you do, but
Yeah, you did. Because who kept winning them, Corey? Who kept winning them?
So however, the other group that you wanted to, the other person you wanted to talk to, the lady who kind of keeps ahead at the shrine, keeps it all in place and good to go. She just so happens to walk into the meat hall at that time.
How convenient.
Yes, exactly. And her name is Nerdaley.
Levi does not know her.
She comes in smoking a pipe, kind of gives you guys a glare, and then walks over to the corner and sits in the
Glares
corner.
at us?
She's just not a very happy person.
She hasn't had her morning mead, don't forget.
Or her midday mead, or her
Evening mead.
her anytime mead.
I feel like
Alright.
Rosemary should not be the one to approach her. I have bad charisma.
Peter will look at Dell and be like, "It should perhaps be you, but remember, not too hard on the political spin. Just letting her know. I guess. Sorry, I'm going to stop talking."
No worries. I got this. I'll be right back. Stand up and I'm gonna approach the table and, just
She looks at you.
hail and well met.
What?
Nothing, just, wanted to come by, say hi. I know we met the other day when my friends and I were coming by the shrine of the Flaming Sword, but we just didn't really get a chance to talk very much. And as you may notice, apparently I'm one of the candidates for speaker up for
Yes.
election tomorrow.
You folks, the ones that were turning the beaker's body over and over. Took me a little bit to get him back and situated nicely.
I
helped.
apologize for that. We were interested in seeing if we could gather any information to determine who, may have been responsible for the death of the speaker.
Yes, well, I think the javelin through his chest was pretty easy to figure that out. It was obviously the Verbeeg.
Well, yes and no.
What did you find out?
Well, we've actually had a conversation with that Verbeeg, and while you are correct, the javelin was itself the cause of death, we believe that there may have been some foul play involved. Do you mind if I take a seat?
She kind of stares at the open seats and pushes the two chairs that are closer to her, like, away. And then there's just this chair that's right across from her that's still at the table.
All right.
Yes, you can sit down.
I'll sit down across from her, so I can kind of
So tell me,
lean on my elbows on the table, sort of lean in a little bit and lower my voice some.
Don't forget to bat your eyelashes.
It's a different tactic. I'm not going for that yet. Well, as I mentioned, we've actually had a chance to converse with the Verbeeg who was unfortunately responsible for killing the speaker indirectly, but the murder was never his intention. His only goal was the theft of the mead, which we were able to mostly recover. Has anyone been wondering about Shandar being present at the murder? Does that not strike anyone as odd?
Not that I've heard, although I always found him to be annoying, like most people in this town.
Yeah.
But he's typically there whenever the casks are shipped away. He likes to stick his nose in the business of everyone.
He's a bit of a cunt, isn't he?
I suppose.
Anyhow, since we know that you've had the opportunity to be so attentive to the speaker's body, I imagine you noticed the large number of wounds on his back. Wasn't just the single spear thrust through the heart.
Yes, well, I assumed the Verpi got the jump on him, as they typically do, clever little fellows.
Well, in our experience, it just didn't seem likely that a Verbi would actually have access to such a small weapon, and they're much more upfront kinds of fighters. I don't really see him taking a chance to attack the speaker from the back to deal a series of small wounds. If he'd had that opportunity, he would have just skewered him through there and been done with it. Now, my belief here is that Shandar may have been responsible for those wounds, seeing the opportunity to remove the speaker and quite handily place the blame onto an outside force.
And to support these claims, you have the weapon that Shandar used?
Can't say that we have yet. Right now, we only have the ideas, but we plan to seek further evidence prior to the actual voting. I just wanted to bring these concerns up to you. You seem like a level-headed individual. Most people here in the village seem to kind of have their own interests at heart. As a caretaker of the shrine, you seem to be just a little more selfless, bit of a pillar of the community.
Yes, I do feel like I
Underappreciated.
am the, well said, very underappreciated member of our community. However, I can speak for most of Goodmead to say that without any hard evidence, you will be hard-pressed to find a townsperson that will support the testimony of Verbi, especially one who just so recently murdered our beloved speaker.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair for sure.
I truly hope you come up with some other evidence and that it leans in your favor.
I do as well. And like we said, I've planned to expect to see some more information prior to the trial tomorrow. But these concerns aren't actually the only reason why I wish to speak with you today.
What else do you have on your mind then?
Well, as you know, my friends and I are not, local. We're not native to the town. We're adventuring our way through, and while the well-being of the town has become important to me after even just the short amount of time I've spent here, I believe that my interests will still force me away from town for periods of time. And honestly, I would probably have seeked to pass off the candidacy for speakership if I could. Um, but understanding the rules of the way the badge works, I'm locked into it and plan to make the best of it I can for myself and for the town. Uh, but knowing that I may have to spend some time away, it's important to me that I find a strong representative here in town. And as I mentioned earlier, I've noticed that you yourself seem to be intellectual, fair-minded, and outside of the individual politics of the various groups. If you were receptive to it, I think that you would make a extremely well qualified and fitting proxy.
Kind of just stares you for a second. Big puff of her pipe goes out. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Now, of course, I wouldn't expect this to be a major addition of responsibilities for you. I know that you work incredibly hard with your work at the temple as is. So any of the roles, the speakers, if there's ever a speakers council called, don't worry, that would absolutely be something I would take care of. I would mostly need you as, a representative within town, just to kind of make sure that if any of the villagers have issues that they need to speak with a speaker, that someone is here to help them through their concerns. I greatly appreciate you
Well,
willing to assist me in this.
yes, I will put all of the annoying townspeople's concerns to heart, of course.
And
Should you
it's
be
a
elected.
yes, of course. Should I wink?
It's fine. I was getting a bit worried with Shandar, anyways.
Yes, I'm quite certain that, assuming I can find evidence, I'll definitely be able to prove our concerns. But I'm I think he may have been planning this for quite some time. The Verbeeg mentioned that he was only even aware that the shipment was going to be where it was at the time because he'd heard someone loudly shouting out that time. Based on the description he gave of that person, we believe that to be Shandar as well.
It's truly troubling news.
Indeed.
So what are you going to do about Shandar then?
We'll find a way to take care of Shandar. Allow your speaker's nominee to handle that problem for you.
Well, I'm very interested in the prospect of putting my work ethic towards the betterment of this town. Although, I can't say that many of the townspeople will be extremely happy to know that you picked me for proxy, but I can guarantee that none of them will speak back to me.
Definitely not. I think that you'd find that they respect you much more than you may believe.
Yes, they respect me so much they take wide berths when I walk down the road to avoid me and my lovely glares.
Yeah, you know, it may just be, kind of you give off a sort of a standoffish aura. No
Yes.
offense, I just,
None taken. I really do not enjoy the company of others.
you know, that probably makes you a better candidate for proxy here. I think I've made the right choice.
I believe so too. I knew you had a good head on your shoulder, and smart brain behind those eyes. I just hope that you will continue to see good meat in your future.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why? I could see myself coming to think of Good Meat as my home.
I would hope so. You are the speaker. Or will be the speaker.
Yes, will be the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I wink again.
She just stares at you.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your free time.
Good.
Enjoy your lunch.
She kind of stares down at the plate where there's nothing in front of her. Oh, I will.
Okay. Look forward to that debate tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting. And bye now.
Yes. She kind of like whistles at Dooley, and they begin talking as you walk away. So,
It's like,
what you guys have about? Let's say your meeting was about in artisan crafting took a couple of hours or an hour or two. So let's say it's about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. What would you like to do with the rest of your day? The poker game doesn't start till about 9, so you have 6 hours, 7 hours to kind of just do whatever you like, or we can just skip forward. It's to you guys.
We have no gold, so shopping is out of the question probably. Should we like wander around the outskirts and see if we can find a chwinga? Because we're still technically on chwinga duty as well.
I want to find Shandar's house.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Shandar's house is the house right across from the lumberjack yard. So this house, which you guys went into, it's more just like I wouldn't say it's a barracks, but it's like a community house for the lumberjack. Some of them do live there, but Shandar lives in this little hut right across the way.
So Shandar really lives 2 doors down from the speaker's house?
Yeah.
All right.
He's just right there.
It seems like a healthy distance.
You always want to have your ear in the right place whenever it's needed. So yeah. Now you're going straight to Shandar's house?
Well, so I was gonna see if we wanted to plan on trying to search Shandar's house or possibly the logging guild hall today or tomorrow when everyone's drunk.
So I will relay that what I heard from the loggers that Shandar's kind of out of town at the moment because he's apparently looking for some sort of ace in the hole. So now might actually be an ideal time to search his house as long as there's not a whole bunch of loggers like watching it.
Maybe Beta should stage like a mild brawl at the guild hall. So everyone's eyes are on that.
BT just walks in and just punches the first person he sees, like, aha!
While our chances of getting the loggers' vote is probably low, I don't think we necessarily want to take it to 0.
I'm just reminded of that scene from Avatar: The Last Airbender of like, who wants to start a riot? Like you go up on someone and they're like, dude, like, let's talk this out like people. It's like, oh no, I'm trying to start a riot. Oh, why did you just say so?
Oh man, what a giddy!
Levi would be into it. He'd go punch a logger.
For the greater good. I think Beta will actually go in there first as a distraction, just to not like he won't be directly confrontational, but just like kind of doing like Rosemary's deal again, but being like bigger and a little more
Rosemary to come with you, and maybe we can like challenge them to like a logging contest. That could be
possibly
fun.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we could do that.
Okay, all right.
I'd be down to join in the logging contest.
All right. Now, Del, will you go with them, or are you going to use this opportunity to?
I'm down for B&E.
All right, so let's set up everyone else the logging contest, and then let's set up Del first. So, Rosemary, Bate, and Levi, you guys go over to the logging people, and now what tree, if you were to circle it on the map, would you guys be using for your contest, or what trees?
I mean, we'd probably work up to the contest thing, but
yeah, I would assume like maybe some of these that are like right next to the loggers.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe we could convince them to like come find a big one like in the forest and get like everybody out of the town to like watch this thing, so that there was like no chance of getting caught, or very little chance of getting caught.
I like that.
Roll me persuasion.
All right, who has the best persuasion?
I have a -1, but I'll give guidance to whoever rolls it.
I have flat.
I have +1. I guess it's got to be me then.
All right,
Yeah.
guidance on you.
My persuasion's
cool.
okay.
Yeah, too bad you're breaking into someone's house right now.
Hey,
If
y'all
only
should
you
get
want-
this. I'm gonna dip though.
Okay.
Roll
Let me roll guidance.
Come on. God damn it.
All right, 14.
So you guys were able to get them to agree to have the contest right here behind the meat hall and behind the logging place.
Okay.
All right.
And I
So
imagine it's
what-
like kind of a friendly contest. It's like Rosemary told us about a conversation you guys had, and like we thought it would be like just a fun, amicable thing to see who could chop down this tree the fastest, or something like that.
Oh yes, you guys probably went in there, and now would you have done it more friendly and amicable, or would you have like derided them and say like, oh, you guys suck at lumberjacking, and then to prove that you're better?
Rosemary's approach so far has been like trying to like be friends with them, even though they're being shitty back. But what do y'all think?
Yeah, I think you'd respect that approach.
Okay. So then let's go to Dell. Dell. So how are you approaching Shandar's house?
This is Shandar's house.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, the open market was like here-ish.
It's that building to the right, the long building.
Oh, okay. I'll kind of make my way through the market, waving, shaking hands, myself to the people, and then work my way out the backside and kind of walk along the shore. And as I'm approaching the house, just be looking around, seeing if it looks like there's anyone around.
Okay. Roll me perception.
Okay, hold on. Who drew that on on Shandar's house?
Carson or Rachel?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Love that.
Oh goodness. All right. So you take a look around and you don't see anybody. The back of Shandar's house, there's a side door off to the right, but there's a window or two in the back. And this house over here, there's somebody inside walking around, but they don't quite. I mean, they're not like staring at the window, and there's just like windows coming out the back as well. And then the open market is so busy, it's pretty impossible to get a gauge on who's looking at you at all times. But there's nobody at Chandar's house that you can tell.
All right. Well, I'm gonna approach the side door. I mean, it obviously would have taken me a little bit of time to get through the open market, but as
Mhm.
long as I can tell that the logger seemed to be engaged in, or at least
Yes.
drawn away towards the competition.
You kind of catch a little bit through like that little side house all the way back there, and you see Rosemary, Levi, and Bitte in the middle of their contest with the lumberjacks. A lot of shouting. In fact, some of the kind of commoners of the village have even begun to like move over there and view the contest happening, which assists you in your what you're doing right now. So
All right, well.
if you want to roll stealth with advantage because everyone's attention's elsewhere. Didn't even need it.
22.
22. So the side door is locked, but you do notice one of the windows seem to be cracked a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna try to go in through the window.
Okay. Push it open and kind of roll on in, and the house is just eerily quiet except for a small young snore. And you see just like kind of sat in a chair right in front of the door, facing the door, is Justice Dave Morbray, the youngster lumberjack that had chopped off the foot of the other lumberjack.
Yeah, that kid. Okay. I'm going to sneak past him.
Okay, yeah. So he's kind of just there's a couple of rooms where you could be in the room without him even having eyesight or um, and we'll take your stealth roll for whatever you're doing until you choose to interact with any other objects. But opening doors will go with the stealth roll, so you can sneak around the house fairly easily. Um, what are you looking for when you're in here?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm looking for a sword.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's no, a quick like run through all the rooms. You don't notice anything just by your quick looks. Although you can give, you have identified that there's the main room, Shandar's workroom, his, or you could say his office, his uh, bedroom, and then a bathroom. So there's just four rooms in the house, and the big, large, open room uh, has a fireplace and lots of like logs chopped up, some gear kind of thrown everywhere. The kitchen has some stuff that looks like he might have hosted a party or something recently, as there's just like kind of like a mess everywhere. So, which one of these rooms would you like to look a bit more harder at?
Start with the bedroom.
Start with the bedroom. All right. So, um, would you like to just take a look around before you try to touch anything? We'll just go straight into your investigation.
I mean, I guess a quick just glance around the room. Anything seem promising-ish? I guess I
There's
can
a
be like, oh
chest.
yes, you find the jewelry box. Well, I'm not going to search that.
There are three objects you could search into in that room. There's a chest at the foot of the bed. There's an armoire and a chest of drawers, so just like a cabinet or so, where he, those are your three objects that you think that you would want to search more. And outside of that, looking around the room, there's not like just like a sword that's just propped up against the side of the bed or anything.
I'm going to start with the armoire.
All right. So roll me investigation. Okay. No, roll me stealth. Okay. Second. Is there a dog trying to get out of the house somewhere?
Yeah, it sounds like a dog scratching on a door.
I think that's my cat in her litter box. What is the deal with my microphone picking up really strange?
All right. So you open the armoire and you start looking around, tapping on things, and you notice that the back wall of the armoire is hollow, echoey.
Ew.
You search around and you notice one corner, kind of hidden behind a pair of boots, has a little finger hole that you could stick your finger in and pull.
Yeah, let's open that bitch up.
Yeah. You open it up, a little compartment kind of slides out. Not compartment, like a little section of the door at the back of the armoire kind of opens up a little bit. And you find
An embarrassing picture of SpongeBob from the Christmas party.
you find a bunch of papers, a notebook, and a map of Targos, as well as just some clothes, dark, like shadowy, almost clothes you would wear to not be noticed at night. No sword there, however.
What is Targos? Is that one of the 10 towns or?
Yes, it is one of the
Okay.
10 towns. It's between Brenshander and Bremen.
Obviously, I would know this, but
Yes.
me as a player, I don't really research shit.
So you're looking through some of the notes, and it's odd. Seems to be a lot of letters from Targos. Or they mentioning Targos in the letters, talking about the weather, talking about the passing of a milkmaid, talking about a crow that flew in the sky. Very odd stuff.
I'm gonna guess that this is some kind of cipher or code.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
is there anything that I can decipher further from that? Like, is there a way I could attempt to like crack this, or
Yeah, roll me in I would guess intelligence. Yeah. Say intelligence. Um see how it
noise?
goes. Noise. So two things. Yes, you are able to crack the code. You pick up that it's one of the more unsavory groups in town. Not in town, but just in the area. And additionally, you pick up that there seems to be somebody holds some power over Shandar. Shandar's always the recipient of the letters. You found no letters that have been written to go out. And they always seem to talk about like they come on a regular basis. And from what you can gather, although you're not able to completely uncover, like you're able to crack the code to tell the gist of what's happening, but the code was written so that like true specifics are, just kind of like implied rather than actually said. Um, it does seem that whoever's writing these letters to Shandar is holding something over him.
Is Shandar like mentioned by name in any of the letters?
They're all sent like "Dear Shandar."
Okay.
Like it's
I'm
very
gonna
clear
take
these are from.
like one or two letters, any that I would be like, okay, these ones seem like they're the most
Mhm.
incriminating, just so I'm not like taking everything out of here in case he's like, oh, well, let me go peek at my letters. He wouldn't at least maybe immediately notice that
Right.
he's been robbed.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all for that little section there. Pocket those, put those in your little pouch, and put the you put the thing everything back into its
Yeah,
proper
as close as
place.
I can to
Hmm.
the way everything was set up. And then I want to real quick rifle through that chest of drawers.
Okay. Roll me another stealth. All right. You're rifling through the chest of drawers, and um, it seems you're pulling drawers open very carefully, but one of the drawer, not that it got away from you, but it seems to be broken to the point where like after you like pull it a little bit halfway, it just kind of like it just drops. You know, you do your best to grab on to the chest of drawer to the drawer itself, but some of the objects that are inside kind of tumble to the floor, and you hear from the other room, no, like a chair kind of stumbling. He's like, "Hello, Shandar? Is that you? I wasn't sleeping. I swear."
I freeze. I'm not saying anything.
Shandar, are you in your office? And you kind of hear footsteps walk into the office door. Opens up, and he's in the room right on the other side of you. Shandar.
Uh, would I okay, so this broken drawer, would I think that I could easily slide it back into place, or
Oh yeah, you could. It's like the slide on it was kind of broken to the point where like if you try to pull the door, it just like it. The drawer. It's not broken. It's the way that the drawer went into the chest of drawers that is broken.
I'm gonna pop the drawer back in and then hide in the armoire?
Hiding the armor. All right. So you hop right into the armor, and you get right in there just in time, closing the door very slowly before Justice kind of you hear the door open to the room. Shandar, are you in here? God, he's gonna be so pissed at me. I was sleeping. He probably sent somebody in to grab anything, and they walked right out before I left. Christ. And he walks over to the chest of drawers, and now when you put the chest back in, did you pick up everything off the floor?
I probably wouldn't have had time to do that.
So he kind of like walks, and he's like, oh, shoot, what is this? Oh, I got it. And you see he's like opening up drawers, and he picks the same drawer that you picked, and it crashes to the floor and breaks. You hear this shattering of wood. He's like, "Oh shit! Oh god! Oh god! Okay, I got this. Okay. Yes, Toiv. That's who I should go talk to." And you just hear like rabid footsteps run out of the room, and the front door like slams shut.
All right. As soon as I hear the door shut, I'm checking the chest.
Okay. You don't have to roll any stealth, but this chest is locked.
Okay.
Give me some
Thieves tools.
thieves tools. See how we go here. Yeah, you pop that lock off like nobody's business, and you open it up, and there's a sack of coins inside. Some really nice pair of clothes. An axe that has some pretty nice drawings on it. Definitely not a lumberjack axe, but more of a battle axe itself. There's a couple of jewelry pieces and things, as well as there's a object in here that immediately catches your eye. In this object, sorry, give me a second. Slips my mind here. Oh gosh! Oh gosh! Oh gosh! Oh gosh!
It's what the layman referred to as TNT. And boom, chest explodes.
So it is a. God damn it! It's a family heirloom that's completely different from the rest of it. Like a different. I don't want to say heraldry, but like different symbol than anything else that he has in the chest. It's just like a little statue almost.
Weird. I'm taking the coins.
All right. Would you like to investigate that chest anymore?
I guess, yeah, I'm gonna do like a quick, check for false bottom, false sides, any of that kind of stuff. Something like hidden in the lid.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Oh shit. Yeah. Roll me investigation. See if it.
Oop. 7. The rolls had to run out eventually.
So more on So unfortunately, you didn't find anything. Anything else with the drawer. However, I do have more information. So on the object, never mind. I don't. Never mind. I do not. So yeah, nothing else in there. Is there anywhere else in his house you'd like to check, or are you gonna head on out?
I'm gonna take the heirloom.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna do a quick and dirty investigation of the office.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm less interested in like things that could be paperwork related and more just for swords. So like only big areas that could maybe be holding a sword.
All right. Okay.
And I guess I'll do a run through of the whole house.
Yeah.
Trying to keep an ear out for
if
I hear anyone coming back.
Roll me perception, but I'll say otherwise. Then you can take your 20 for your investigation.
3.
Okay. So yeah, you continue to look around. You kind of walk through the office, making sure you don't leave any evidence of that you were there. Nothing really jumps out at you as a sword. However, you do notice that in front of his desk against the wall, he already has a mount that looks very similar to the mount that you saw in the back of the shrine of a flaming sword.
Oh, that's interesting.
But there's not, and it looks as though it's freshly made. Almost like it's like he put it in within a week. The wood does not match the rest of his house.
It's cocky motherfucker.
How long ago did the speaker die?
Just a couple of days before you guys arrived to town.
So it's within the week, and the speaker died like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Something don't add up here.
And he probably had to have it commissioned, so that would take like at least a week.
Oh, that's is there any kind of like obvious maker's mark or?
Ooh, it's a good thing. Investigate it.
Whoops, that was not apparently if you just hit enter or it just rolls again.
You see, just on like the underside of one of the mounts, a symbol of a ship.
Symbol of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Here's the symbol
I'm
of a
gonna.
ship. Now, are you how I guess well versed are you with the symbols of all the 10 towns? Is that something that Dell would have
Like-
done? Like is that investigations you would have done when you moved in? for your
Probably a
merchant team?
basic level, yeah. I mean, if I'm coming up to negotiate trade contract type things, I like industry, I would probably have a very basic knowledge. Like if this is a super specialized private craftsman, I might not know, but if it's just like a generic, like, yeah, this is the mark of every person who makes something in this 110 town, I feel like I'd likely know.
Yeah, it's very similar to the heraldry of Targos. Targos has a ship, but this one looks slightly different. You're not very confident to say that this is definitely a Targos symbol. However, none of the other 10 towns that I can confirm use a ship in their symbol.
All right. Well then, I'm a head out.
Okay. Yep. None of the other 10 towns use a symbol in there. Or ship in their symbol. All right. So we walk back over there to Levi, Bitte, and Rosemary. Right?
Quick question:
Yes.
how much money did I steal?
Oh, excellent. Let us see. Roll me a D100.
Big D.
Big D.
36.
36. 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. Ooh, not bad.
That's how many platinum we get.
You stole 7 copper and 92 silver pieces.
So almost a gold.
Also inside the pouch was a small vial of
Wow.
liquid. Clear liquid.
10 silver to a gold, so that was 9 gold.
Oh,
And then a vial of
Of just looks like water. It's just clear liquid in a small vial.
okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's wrap up this contest over here before we wrap up our stream. It'll be the last thing we do today. So we're going to kind of skip past some of the role playing part. We're going right into the contest as Dell's walking up, and you guys are actively trying to chop down a tree against these dwarves. So we're going to do strength rolls. Now, in the contest, would you say that each of you are chopping down your own tree, or are you all working together to chop down one tree?
God, I feel like Rosemary would know, but Rachel doesn't. Of like the standard. Like, I'm sure without machinery, they would have to have some sort of system of like someone strips the branches, someone chops it down, someone catches it. Maybe. Well, not like catch with their arms, but like I imagine like there's some sort of like guiding system or like.
So the good news is that there's normally not branches low enough on the tree that's going to bother your hacking. So if you guys all develop a turn taking system basically to like each hit the tree while the other two are like pulling their arms back, you all just chop the tree in a direction away from everything else so that it falls in a safe way.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we'll just say each of you guys roll 3 strength checks, three strength checks each. So basically, we'll have 3 rounds essentially.
Cool. I want to make it clear that after the challenge was issued and accepted, and they walked over to the trees, Levi smiled, took off his cloak, and raged.
Oh, nice.
He
Rosemary is
he
going
did
to
his-
guidance herself on each of these rolls because she has a 0
Mhm.
strength modifier.
How many times can you rage?
per day twice.
Twice. Okay, so 2 of these strength rolls you can have advantage on.
I mean, he's hitting something, so that should keep his rage
That's
up.
true, I guess.
Yeah, and it lasts for a minute.
That would be, I guess, yeah. Okay, all right. We'll say 1 use of rage. The act of attacking the tree does count for an attack in this situation. All right, so you have advantage. The goal is to beat the combined score of the other 3 lumberjacks. There are 2 dwarves and one human. In fact, it's the human without the foot, Nico.
Couple of quick questions.
Yes.
First, can I use the axe that was the halflings?
Yes, of course.
Does that give me any kind of benefit?
It does not. No.
Okay. Style points.
It is about the style axe.
Rosemary
Okay.
sees you pull it out and gives you like a nod and just says like, "Good choice."
And
Right.
is there any kind of, because Beta is a size larger for carrying capacity at least, is there any kind of advantage or anything there? And also, would athletics be applicable?
Athletics is applicable, but no extra advantage when it comes to chopping down the tree.
Okay. I just also figured Levi might have athletics.
I do have athletics, and I was about to ask before I rolled anything, so I will take my advantage in athletics instead of
Yes.
advantage in strength.
That is fine. I mean, it works out for me as well. So, all right, here we go. 3 rolls. I'll be rolling on my desk.
Oof.
So each of you guys roll together.
So we each make 3, right?
Yes. Well, just do 1 for right now. But if you roll 3 now, it's fine.
Oh, whoops. I'm on my second.
I'm very glad all of mine are like stacked together.
Yeah, yours are all fancy. I was trying to do the guidance in between each one.
All right. So the first round for the lumberjacks is a 24, 14, and 17. And so that comes to a total of math.
55.
24, 14 would be
55. And you
Okay.
guys got a 21, a
22 and an 8.
22, and an 8.
So 51?
51. So right now, for the first round, that goes to the lumberjacks. They are slightly ahead. So for the next round, I have a 19. I have a 21. And I have a 17. Which
57
comes
altogether. And
57.
second round for the players was 61.
61. All right. Woo! It's 1 and 1. Oh my goodness. So
Oh,
last
God.
one. We have a 20.
Fuck.
We have a 18. What is the players? Last one.
Oh god, fuck.
Oh
Ben.
god. Oh god, Ben.
Ben!
Ben. Oh, so sorry.
God, that was a bad one.
That was the worst one of the stream.
Did BT
Strong.
have advantage?
BT did not have advantage.
I
He just-
wish.
He just rolls with advantage.
Final
It
roll
would
for
be
the
nice.
players was 45.
45 for the last one. So this person has to get less than a 7 for you guys to win.
Fuck.
Which means he has to roll really low. Oh gosh. I'm shaking it in my hand as much as I can. He gets an 18.
Fuck. I don't think you rolled below a 15 for the fucking loggers.
I know, this new dice I made was really good.
That
Is
or
it-
it's
Was it really good,
It's
Corey?
weighted.
It
Or
really
is it-
was. No,
or is
it
it
was.
imbalanced?
I was on. It might be imbalanced. No, because if it was, there'd be more weight towards the 20 side, and it would have came out with a 1.
Well, I mean, it can be unbalanced in certain other ways, but you know.
Okay. I should say that the 3 dice I just rolled were a 4, a 7, and a 3.
God damn it.
So just so happened to. Anyways, you guys.
And I should say that we've got no fucking way of telling if you're lying through all of this, Corey.
Show me your dice. Show me your dice.
Rolls 9 natural ones. Yeah, 24.
It did not. It did not happen. And if I, what's the word?
I believe you.
If I fudged any rolls, it was in your favor because they just so happened to kick y'all's ass in this. Which,
they
I
did.
mean, given the fact that they are
Understandable.
lumberjacks, yeah, and they didn't even have advantage either. I could have given them advantage.
Okay, so how close was it?
For what the? So you guys,
like RP wise, how close did it come?
Oh, I would say you guys finished maybe a couple of like 4 to 5, like they fell their tree, and you guys are like hack, 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 and then you start to hear the crack, and then just a couple more to finish off. You know, time wise, not too much, but you know they had the time to like turn and watch you guys finish, essentially.
Whew. Well done.
You guys are extremely skilled. This is even more reason why you should be compensated fairly.
Yeah,
you know your trait.
You can spend all the time you want to try to turn us against Shandar, but all this contest showed us is that once again you don't quite seem to know lumberjacking.
Well, even if we lose,
congratulations
these are just
are
things
in
you should
order.
bring up with Shandar. There's no reason he should say no. I mean, if he has your best interests at heart.
He does. He does.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm sure he'll agree.
Well, we'll have to see when he comes back tomorrow. So that is where we're going to end today's stream. Not so much under the cliffhanger, but still in the midst of it all. Tomorrow we'll not tomorrow, because gosh, in 1 month we'll be skipping our next 2-week session and going to March 27th for our next session. March 27th. Sorry, I'm muting you, Ben. Oh God. Oh, it's not popping on the stream. Okay. And I mean, yeah. I know this was an all RP, and so far our session has been all RP, but I just have to say you guys blew me out of the water with your interactions. And
That's
Rosemary,
fun.
Good God.
Yeah, it was a great
I
time.
googled, do you want to know all the words that I used?
Yes, please list them out right now.
Timber Beasts is a very grumpy logger. Choker setters are the people who set chains, which is like it's a like job that they give to like the newbies, and it's very dangerous. Fallers are the people who fell the trees. Cables they're just cables. Widowmaker is a dead branch that's at risk of falling on top of someone. Snubbers are brakes on sleighs that go down steep hills. Short stakers are people who join and then leave after making a small profit. Home guards are people who've been logging for a long time. Hardtack outfit is essentially a logging company that pays their loggers shit. King Snipe is log boss. What else? Packing a card is essentially slang for unionizing.
Yeah, I kind of pictured that one because I've always heard about, you had your union card.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely surprised me with all the rest of them because I had no idea what any of that was when you were shouting it out at me. And
I feel like I was like, okay, Rosemary would know these things, so I had to go on Google, and while they were doing their fishing, I was like Googling logging vernacular.
Well, yeah. So next session we will finish up here in Goodmead. We'll have the elections. We'll have the elders poker game. We'll have lots of drinking and the return of drunk Rosemary.
The return of drunk Rosemary.
Return.
The much storied return.
Yeah. Yes. The
And then
Thing
one of
is-
us is
From the
beating the
retcon
shit out of
timeline.
Shandar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can honestly see Rosemary just punching him while talking about workers' rights.
I could just imagine you guys end up like somehow losing the election, and then you just beat the crap out of Shandar before you leave town.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
Rosemary cramming a rat into his mouth. Eat his tongue! Eat his fucking tongue!
I feel like that's inhumane to the rat, but it's only alive for an hour, so.
It's not a real rat.
Like those weren't real fish.
Exactly.
So, anyways, well, thank you all for watching us today. We are Everybody's a Mimic. We play on Saturday mornings, typically every other week. However, we will be back here March 27th at 9:30 a.m. You can check us out at everybody'samimic.wordpress.com for more information on our party, our players, occasionally the blog post of things that I like to show off. And you can also watch our past sessions, and this one will be coming up onto YouTube fairly quickly. And the YouTube page, if you just search Everybody's a Mimic and look for our symbol in the top right corner of the stream, that's the symbol of the YouTube page. We also have a link directly to that on our WordPress website. So until next time, bye-bye, sayonara, everybody. See you later.
Bye.
We have to work on a sign off. Until next time, bye-bye, sayonara.
Sayonara.
I love it. Sayonara is staying. We're keeping
Yeah.
Oh,
sayonara.
absolutely, sayonara staying.
All right, everyone, on 3. 1, 2,
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
sayonara.